difference maker in many of the circumstances, especially when you like playing slow like Fnatic. So on the second half, that's what I'm looking at on the side of Paper.
And especially looking at Chronicle, Valorant's winningest player. He is so good at finding those timings, finding those gaps. His looks have been impactful for all the years he's been at the top.
Oh man, you can feel it in the venue here. It feels as if, you know, this is like a Super Bowl type of joint right now, and I'm all about it because you got these two teams with such incredible stories that have brought us so much entertainment throughout the years. You talk about the 5-year celebration of Valorant's history. These two teams have been there practically from the start. So for these guys to be a part of this moment, but also to be facing each other on the stage like this, Mimi, in such a fashion, really is something else.
It's truly special. Crashes as well. He was there in the beginning, always one of the best with Optic back in the day. Didn't think he'd have an opportunity to even play in Tier 1 again after how things went with NRG. Signs with Fnatic, moves to Europe, and now back on another Masters stage at another Grand Finals with a completely new roster.
And you know what's really impressive about this Fnatic team for me, Bea, is the fact that this squad feels calm and composed in the moment. And in fact, they feel like they're relishing in this atmosphere.
Yeah, there's been some moments, right? But I think that they are learning from all of those moments. One of the people that has learned a lot and evolved a lot, not only Kaya that we're seeing here and how exponential his run through Valorant is being, is also Alpha. The way that he controls mid on this map, if he is able to make a difference on map one, it is not a good prediction for Paper X.
That's what it's all about right there. The trophy. And for this young man, that has eluded him for so long in his career. Even the other guy to his right there, Forsaken, now putting himself in a position to lead the team to victory. But folks, the moment is finally here, and the trophy is within reach. Let's get the grand final started and send it over to two of the greatest of all time. It's Bren and Sideshow.
Well, kind words from GB, but there is energy here in this arena today. We have two titans of the sport, to be honest. Legacy teams that have been there since the beginning, and they are battling tooth and nail now for a chance. Paper X, they've had many chances in the past, but now there's another one in front of them, and they are going to want to grip it, but they are up against a Fnatic. Unstoppable all the way throughout that lower bracket. Looking to carve themselves into the history books a little bit deeper.
It's the team that has a strong claim as best of all time up against the best team that's never won. And there are many squads out there that would love to have as many chances as Paper X have had at a trophy. Paper X, every time it seems to slip through their grasp. This feels like the moment. Coming through the upper bracket, double map ban advantage. In some sense, it's Paper X's trophy to lose there in the middle between these two teams. But both are going to be scrapping for every inch, and it starts here on Sunset, a map that Fnatic are forced to play.
All steady for now. Paper X nice and grouped up. Contact plays. Hoping that they can grab an unaware player. Fnatic all playing A for retake though.
It's a confident start, taking this kind of risk. You could well run into somebody holding a one and done, but they're relying on the fact that Fnatic love to play for retake in these situations.
Yeah, so much util saved for Paper X. But to get themselves into the post here, but bodies are already starting to get over towards that A site. Fnatic. 5 plays here, double flank occurring. Something has to be the stopping player in emotion, and already trying to take a fight straight through spawn. Nade sailing up and overhead through main though, and these players getting squeezed. Crashes. It's already drawn blood. You're going to be hoping that it's the first of many, but it's a slow orb as well, just to slow the approach. At least for now, it's tepid, cautious, being played. Fnatic know that they have plenty of time to work with here. There's a time potentially missed again. It's being jumped upon out here from the side, sticking all the way. Crashes, there's no stopping him! Fnatic! To the opening pistol.
A slow siege upon the A site there from both teams actually.
Kayak gampang banget gitu anjir.
Managed to navigate all of that util. And the squeeze really came down onto something. He had to hold 2 players off the flank and then got caught by that recon. Crashes with a very important round.
Nice! Come on, man! Come on! Bring me the...
And the Viper Orb set up there for the retake as well from Chronicle, just allowing Fnatic to be able to get back in. A nice idea from Paper X. I think you can see both teams have a good understanding. And here, looking like there might potentially be a crunch play in B. Boaster's got a paranoia he could go for.
Cycling through the util. Chronicles hunting for heads. Not to find too much. The Paperex are not far behind. Rattling a few shots of their own here. Good time to talk about, I think, some of the expectations of players, I think, so far. But Fnatic are stacked with storylines, talent. It's all there. Plenty of players looking to get their hands on that trophy, lift it. Add another one to the tally, perhaps, for some of them. Chronicle, one of our most storied players of all time.
And Alfia as well, who's making a run towards MVP at this event. I think might be the first contact against these eco players. He's able to challenge a bit more aggressively.
To Paranoia to try and set him up. Aggression called for, looking to try and crunch these Paperex players in their place. When the Alpha's taking liberties, this is a guy that has been let loose, unleashed, an MVP candidate. Of course, he can take these risks with just a pistol in hand. He's not going to be offering up any sort of guns here.
30 seconds left. Spike
Death by 1,000
A.
cuts. Paperex are feeling right now.
And another really solid hold on. Paperex not doing anything too crazy just yet. We know that this is a team that can turn up the tempo massively, but early on here on Sunset, playing for all maximization, playing to slowly contact into areas and try to figure out what this Fnatic defense looks like. The more you contact, the more important people like Alfia and his utility become. Crashies, the drone, the recon, Alpha's trips and cam. And this round, expecting a B pop, Boaster's got the troops positioned to defend on B. 4 players
stacked up.
Yeah.
Crashies, the lone defender towards A, full confidence in the retake, and Kayak gone wandering, lurking up through mid, getting a lot of information.
This is a really nice timing of Paperex. One of the only things they do wrong is clearing these kind of spots.
Slight miss shot.
Good information though for the attackers, and Crashies. What a shot!
What a challenge to take.
He might think though that that's the only lurk player. It's difficult to expect the other 4 stacked up behind, but Kayak has read it.
And here comes the pincer, here comes the crash! Kayak instantly domes 2. Paperex are left reeling on their buy round. Fnatic maintaining discipline. It's composure that sailed them all the way through here. The rifles, it's going to have to be raw heroics to see if he can stand a chance in this one. Paperex none the wiser. Lurks, Alfia dropping Divine and a spike in their laps. It's inevitable at this point.
Jing's got an impossible task ahead of him. A 1v4 stuck in elbow. Even if he tried to save, it's not going to work. 30 seconds. Spike abandoned. Fnatic can put the squeeze on. They'd love to get another rifle on board and deny it away from Paperex. Jing, he can't even get one. What a beautiful round from Fnatic, Brennan. A couple of strategic things as well for this EMEA team, looking strong early. One of which is Kayak is feeling confident enough to go for that kind of play in round 3. This is a rookie player coming in, having just won Ascension. He's played fantastically inside EMEA in stage 1. But to be able to do that in your first global event, in your first grand finals, that is confident.
Mainnya rapi banget,
the other part too is they're stressing the flank. Paperex don't have a Cypher, they don't have a Vice, they don't have any ability to watch the flank with some kind of piece of util. And already after round 3, Alex is calling a timeout. This is a worrying sign for Paperex, considering that this is the map that arguably they're the most favored on. That's why they've taken us here first.
And there's all that talk about, listen, the double map advantage. Fnatic don't have a deep map pool. Let me tell you, when you get to grand finals, when you get into that best of 5 territory, forget the strategy, the experience plays the biggest difference. Fnatic have that in spades. You can make the same argument for Paperex, but they've never done it. They've never lifted a trophy themselves before. They've come close, and they've always missed the mark. It's one of the things that's going to be circling around their heads.
And if you think all the way back to Copenhagen, the final map, as far as I can remember, they threw a crazy composition out there as well. They're playing Yoru Breach on Breeze, which is just, I mean, even in the current Yoru Breach era, is a bit of a mad idea to comprehend. They were always happy to go in and throw the punches and see what landed. Whereas Fnatic, I think, come into a game like this with heavy ideas and strategy and ways of anti-strat and breaking down what Paperex have got in store for them. Especially on maps they knew were coming early, like here on Sunset.
The Outlaws could thrive in this setting. see your players on half arm with a dart. Immediately dealt with. Kayak is safe.
Never a worry, never a doubt that that recon was going to get broken. Crashy's always had that, leaving Kayak to hold onto the smoke. Forsaken.
Yes, risky business, but again, risks have to be taken when you're down like this. PaperX going to increase the tempo, increase the heat. Taking control out towards market already. Stray shots, no damage. They need a couple more where that comes from. And now putting in the crunch.
Spike down B.
And they crumble towards it, but there's rifles in the hands of Chronicle, and he's taking this one. Oh, spotted still. 1 for 1. Chronicle managed to get Pac-Man out of there.
Alfia going to have to be a hero here, coming back through market. PaperX have done a great job of getting back into this round. Put a serious squeeze on the Boaster, he just couldn't hold up to the pressure.
Trying to do some damage towards the end of this one. Alfie has left it down to the 1v1. Forsaken.
The fuck? Apa sih?
That's it.
Huge kill off screen as well. The Turkish aim comes through
Apa sih?
and saves Fnatic in a situation where things got sticky. Light weaponry, only stingers out for PaperX, but they're still down 0 and 4. Interesting moment in that. Boaster threw a counter paranoia to try to keep players back in market. Pac-Man just ran through, just kept running forwards. Living and breathing by the W Gaming, and it did put Boaster and Crashies in a tough spot that Alpha had to recover. Come on, let's go. A 4-0 lead, and now Kayak has the funds to be able to bring out the off. He is alone though on the A side.
Jadi nyalain
Take a look
dong.
at this guy. Doesn't really have the most support in the world. Crashies is going to come to get his back like he did early, but PaperX have the util to push him on.
Wall in your face too, and he hears it. Take that one into the off angle, but there's a rocket in your face. You turned into pick miss in a moment's notice here. Crashies, he's stuck, isolated, skipping, hopping, trying to survive. Poster.
If Jing had thrown an aid in there, then surely he would have been dead, but instead focusing on taking the site.
Crashes is forward, he's already taken the timing against him, and he's trying to take it forwards, fast and loose is the play. Wall into the back of the site though, it's all being contained in that flank again. Thrown close, no coverage in Cyberpost is there to respond. Pac-Man only expecting the one.
Satu lagi coy. Tuh kan, nggak lihat ya.
And Alpha going to be left to do it all. Finally, Alpha reveals his hand.
Sentinelnya 2.
Look at the wrist, the hand goes out. It's going to be good information. Hammered up. Start rebounding.
Ada trapper.
The time is going to start ticking soon enough. PaperX is still a bit more disciplined. Looking to try and play this one together now. First tap, first target down. Boaster's gone, and Alpha is next. So PaperX. They do show up and they get that round on the board, a critical one at that.
A little bit of a late awakening here on the stage, but nice to see the PaperX have got what it takes when there's ults on the board. Slight mechanical error there for Kayak at the very beginning. Had a shot actually on the Divide. I think he caught him dead to rights, but just got off the angle at the wrong moment. Chose to scope back up, and that cost him his life. And now Kayak's, now Kayak's going to have to play with his Neon Ultimate. Already invested pretty heavily economically in the previous round. And now PaperX going into the Cypher setup.
Tucked around, it's an instant drone and
Kanan mana strategi. Tunduk aing nonton lagi
I'm
anjing.
looking to contain it. Missed the timing on it though. These players have already slipped straight past. Kayak.
He's going to
hear
hear
some
stuff.
damage. Oh, surely hears it, yes. Tip tap of the footsteps and he buys his time. Buys it well. Here's the ult to buy. Shuts him down, but up through mid. It's Pac-Man. Straight up the gut, instant res as well. It's going to be undoing that damage.
And
a little bit earlier.
A massive gap in mid here, Brent. Forsaken. Through completely. Pac-Man as well.
Nice.
They've cut a swat straight through the middle of this Fnatic defense.
4-1 lik.
Just rotating through, and Chronicles left to pick up the pieces and wonder what the hell happened to this defense macro. PaperX were all gathered up towards A, and yet still found that perfect timing. And this is really going to hurt the, or start to put the hurt on the Fnatic eco too.
Something Chronicle, shoulder to shoulder, he spots out the barrel, so handed a freebie.
But just going for the save here.
Coba.
PaperX got good value out of that res. Divide online early, able to undo all of the good work Kayak had done with his tiles push. And again, I just want to stress how much Fnatic are going for these mid pushes and these flanks. They're really trying to abuse. Feels like the biggest part of their anti-strat so far is trying to abuse the fact that PaperX do not have that Cypher in their composition. Push down, try to get the flanks going for the A retake. Something that Boaster loves to do when we've seen him call in the past on maps like Haven, for example, against these Sentinel-less comps. But this time just missed that timing on Patman. And I think it can be tough to play against Paper X sometimes because they do take unorthodox timings. They're willing to take a bit more risk. And so back-to-back rounds. That shot too, instantly denying the Neon ultimate. Creating space for the res.
Too easy, guys, come on.
Alpha also had all of his Cypher utility on the A side that round. And once again, he's going to put it all down on B, so not using any of it for top mid information, except for this cam, which is going to be able to see feet as you walk up mid. But if Alpha's not tapping it regularly, then Patman could still find a timing.
A real switch up as well from the game plan of Paper X.
No, they're really focused on this A pressure. Trying to get big value out of Patman's utility, even if it's not actually Patman who's there taking the space.
Drone. Paper X trying to hide their intent.
Very slow so far on the attack side for Paper X too, isn't it? Really trying to mess with expectations.
The dark doesn't clear. Kai was sat nice and pretty. Patman none the wiser. Thought he caught a timing there. Paranoia is going to be sweeping forward. It's going to be blinding up Alpha. Nade rebounding. We'll have to respect it. Market control. Paper X is for now. And you see now Hunter's furious and there's signs of life. That's from afar. Crashes. Looking to supplement it. Trying to put a stop to this one. But Paper X is denying that momentum they've got. This train is not stopping. Not here. Not now.
Nice.
They barrel through. Unconventional pathing there for Paper X. Didn't send anyone through B-main. And Fnatic were left wondering. As the wall came down over towards Boba, slicing off the defenders on sight. Chronicle didn't know which way to look. Very much an adaptation here for Paper X in terms of how they're approaching this one. The game plan coming from Alex, maybe even coming from Mini too. Remember that former Fnatic head coach is now doing assistant coaching for this squad. But the game plan appears to be slower and more deathballing. They're not trying to split. They're just trying to stay together and take out Fnatic piece by piece on rounds like this. If they haven't had the success over towards Elbow, then working through Market and up to Boba was wondrous there. This is now 3 rounds in a row for Paper X. Trying out a really unconventional, slow pace to their game. And at any point here, they can turn up the tempo.
Gua ketiduran tapi gua kaget kenapa ya?
That's the thing with Paper X though.
Kaget gua.
Reaching new heights and evolution for this team now.
Ketiduran gua.
A little bit more of that nuance that's available to them, the slower play. Look at the map on their attack sides.
And I think they have to. If you
Tandanya
play
pola tidur udah
that
sehat.
undisciplined
Kalau
W
ngantuk tuh
gaming
pola tidur
style,
udah sehat.
the one where it's not so refined, I
Ketiduran
think
tadi
Fnatic
gua
eat
kaget
that up
ngerejek
all
gitu.
day long. They're a
Kalau mau tidur
disciplined
tidur aja,
team.
Lik, nggak apa-apa, Lik.
They love
Kita
our
nonton
style.
sendiri
That
aja.
Gak mau.
old Paper X style just simply wouldn't
Gua
work.
sambil dengerin.
Ya, tapi abis nonton
It's
tidur.
one-on-one between
Iya,
these two
gua
teams, so I'm not
tidur.
saying it can't ever work, but I don't think it was the right
Ya,
idea to
iya,
go into this game with.
pembohong.
But in this tournament, we've seen a better, more
Lu juga
thoughtful
Faro
Paper X.
sama aja tiduran habis.
Willing to
Kapan
pump
kau
the brakes
bohong?
and play with a little bit of discipline in the mid-round after doing the same fast pressure. They've still got that killer instinct. They're just willing to temper it.
Ini lagi timeoutnya Fanatic. Skornya 0.
It's now Fnatic who are going to have to take a timeout of their own.
Tadi gua mimpi PRX menang.
The newer coaching staff who've had so much success with this
Makanya gua
roster,
tadi kaget.
looking at
Udah
adding
selesai.
their input into things. And I would say now's the time to try to hit something quick. If you're Paper X, if you wanted to change up the tempo at any point in this game, coming out of your opponent's timeout, that's one of the best opportunities for you. It is going to be a bit of a half-by round for Fnatic. Kayak with a glass cannon guardian, a stinger, and a sheriff around the place. So maybe Paper X will play with patience in this one and turn up the tempo for the next. Early B main though is already a little bit different.
Spread out. Control one away from some big ults as well. Jing. Looking forward to that showstopper. Contact plays good for again. It's just poking out. Now spotted here with a snake bite rebounding. Ricochet and Chronicle looking to try and slow them down. Our bodies behind this one. It's a delayed hit. Jutting smoke. You gotta be careful of this one. Alpha inside it, trying to sidestep straight towards it. Something just dismisses him. And Jing already taken up that timing, slips into the gap and finding his mark. Boaster has to operate at a bit of run and gun. Backside control is still there for Fnatic. Plan down now for PaperX. And PaperX are not stopping, they're not content with just the front. They want the entirety of this map.
Oh, kelas per second.
Really good adjustment there as well. Alpha, a little unfortunate, does hit the 140 with the Phantom. You see there the aim punch on something. And Alpha moves away thinking that he's already got the kill. His crosshair resetting onto the next target before even confirming that something had hit the deck. And after a 0-4 beginning to this map, it feels like PaperX, the vibes are back.
Yeah.
They've tied up the game, and going into this, Kayak once more picking up the operator, and still a slow beginning actually for PaperX. Really not trying to challenge early on. It's been more about contacting. And then the question becomes, who's actually holding the contact for Fnatic? Because often they're playing really passive lines. And here you just see Boaster jiggling and Kayak holding elbow.
Operator in hand, one of the best tools for the job, but seeing signs of life. Jing, that's his cue to go. Sending it ricocheting against the wall. That's no damage done to Boaster. He's eager to draw that blood. Just trying to wrangle control of the rifle. Kayak's been overwhelmed. PaperX crack open the A site. Crack heads while they're at it. Jing, not content with just a few. Device steals them. Right from his sight line.
A huge round and the defense collapses again from Fnatic. Kayak had to hit that shot. He put himself on such an aggressive angle. A really deep position that you see this Neon dive from in elbow. And if he doesn't hit the shot, then he can't escape. Neon's got great maneuverability, but you've got to get the first in order to avoid getting traded. A Boaster fell shortly afterwards with that scramble in the smoke. Chronicle once more not really able to have too much impact in his 5th grand final appearance. Thus far, PaperX have been avoiding him mostly. A couple of times now that we've seen him save, and Divide back up to another res, by the way. So got his 2nd available, and that's just a really nice tool for being able to deal with those early skirmishes if PaperX play as a pack. I think it'd be fair to call them fan favorites.
Oh yeah. All smiles here.
That's why I was saying yesterday, I really feel like Fnatic are going to be the villains of this story. They've set themselves up as the barrier between PaperX and the trophy that's always one step out of reach. You have to go through a team that's managed to do it back to back, but at the moment, PaperX have picked themselves up after a bad start and have been pretty much flawless since then.
The early timeout has worked wonders.
Kayak once more getting into this deep position, willing to take a bit of a gamble here, tucked himself down behind this box in mid. Last time, didn't find too much value from it.
Deep pushes are everywhere on the map. Fnatic. There's Boasters out through A main, down through mid. Getting a good idea now. This is going to be landing over towards B. Chronicle tucked to the corner. He's going to be feeling that heat, takes the peak. Dealing with these players out towards the extremities, but not through bottom mid. Instant res. Forsaken brought back into the fold. Crashes. Just can't control that Guardian in time. Something. Feeling that heat and that stun does. Good connection. Kayak. Make some moves. Alpha dominates market. This. Putting a bit of fear now into the step of PaperX. Forced to plan towards the back of the site.
But playing together, Forsaken and Divine need to come up with a plan here for dealing with things. Suddenly, though, they split up. Yeah, maybe the time. Feels like PaperX need to fight into one of these.
Ayo lu tidur aja. Lu tidur.
Enggak, gua denger. Oh, menang PRX bro, kalem di comeback.
Alpha, low enough. Shot to the dome, that will do him in. Gonna do it in a 1v2.
Calm down, calm down, calm down.
Finding his time in through the smoke, waiting for something to fade. Eventually there. Barrow sticking out though, and a 3-2-1 face from PaperX. Ransom that 2-round lead.
PRX nih bos.
Even when things are looking tricky, they've got a game plan, they've got the right micro calls. And that honestly was quite passive too from Kayak towards the end.
Brother, Jen lagi Felix.
Felix.
Apa?
Leaks.
Nape, gue bilang nape.
Oh, suara lu kecil. Oh, Leaks, gue minta tolong Leaks, boleh nggak temenin gue main satu game aja?
Gak bisa.
Ringan Leaks, ringan.
Gak
Di
bisa.
Steam.
Apaan? Gue lagi nobar.
Oh, enggak, iya nanti besok.
Game apaan dulu?
Oh, Call of Duty Warzone.
Enggak.
Ya, ayo Leaks, ringan Leaks, cuma 164 GB, cok.
Lihat banget mah sampai rebahan ya, ih. Pakai standnya panjang sampai rebahan aja.
Enak lah.
Gak bisa Yun.
Leaks. Aduh Leaks, boleh lah Leaks. Emang PC lu nggak kuat apa karena malas Leaks?
Males downloadnya lama, dah aku download dulu.
Trying to lead the march forwards and the spike potentially retrievable, but Fnatic have eyes on it.
Yeah, Boaster's done a great job here actually of getting. He's beefed the movement there. Was just trying to get on top of the box. He was in a spot where he could support Crashies, and now there's a dangerous timing until this wall breaks, but it looks like it's just about to expire, and he's been saved for that. 3v3 and Forsaken with an Omen ult means that this spike isn't really in enemy territory at all.
One of the reasons why Chronicle hasn't
Perek menang
rotated.
sih guys ini guys kalau kata gua ya.
Picks it up,
30
slow it down.
seconds
Paperex only have 30
Perek bisa
seconds to
menang,
work with
bos.
here.
And what a call. He's calling to go back into the same site, trying to fake out the idea he would have left.
20 left. Boaster, watchful eye smoke dissipates, but too many targets. Too much to deal with. Crashies. It's all on him. Tries to buy time, but a bullet to the dome. And a bullet to the temple.
Musuhan banget.
Chronicles left in that 1v2.
Timingnya tuh wah.
This situation though finally winnable for Chronicle, an opportunity for impact.
Looking for an easy fight first. The first most spots it out. Snake fight. No rebound necessary, but doesn't really connect something. Sits it down. Viper's picked. Thought about committed.
Apa dia ngomong apa tadi? Kok lu ngatain
And the
sepatu?
bullets are raining down on him now. Time ticking away.
Liatin
Spraying away. Chronicles
Oke, lagi dong,
hoping,
adekku.
praying. Hoping that Paperex will give him absolutely anything to reload. And run
Nice,
for
4 seconds.
Gelo.
Gue punya ini doang. Gue gak punya
Oh,
one.
PS,
7
gua kira
rounds
sepatu
in a
anjing.
row for Paperex here.
Gua lihatnya tadi kayak
Fnatic
satu
just
naik
making too many
Jordan.
mistakes on the defense side. Kayak kind of whiffs a little bit in this
Malah
opener, doesn't land a
Jordan.
single bullet
Ya
on
itu kan
Jing.
silau Faro.
And then Boaster chooses the worst time to drop from high ground to low ground. As this smoke dissipates, he's choosing to walk forwards. Not accurate to hold that smoke as it leaves the Paperex players in the open. Small errors and a massive comeback in this half from Paperex.
all the way back off the side of that timeout.
Forsaken as well, picking up an attack op. He's got the money to just go for a rifle afterwards.
Mana
Just
nih
watching
kopinya?
mid. And a little pacey
Mickey,
perhaps,
gimana
going for a
mic-nya?
V-pop here.
Yeah, Fnatic hard, disrespecting no deep push out
Lagi
from
nonton ya
Zane, so
seru
they've got the
tuh
information.
mager anjing.
Jing one away from a
Wah,
showstopper, but choosing
100 berapa lagi itu dia
heavily
ngomongnya anjing.
prioritizing
Iya
it.
anjing
Instead,
itu lama
trying to
itu
clear the
gua
flank.
bisa berhari-hari
They know
kayak
this
GTA
could happen.
5.
Timings. Kayak drifted in
Gua
and
bilang
out.
tuh
It's
emang.
Batman who falls. Something is
PUBG
next.
gua mah.
Fnatic full control towards it.
Wow.
Covering your faces and they're going to be disengaging.
Best opportunity for Fnatic to snag
Kaget
round
gua tadi pas lagi
since the
rebahan.
first four.
Ya telepon di HP nyala, di sini nyala anjing di headset.
And Paperex thought it was a mid push, realized it wasn't, so now they're exploring it themselves.
It's in the shoulder. For the sake of that is a ballsy TP.
Cukurukuk katanya.
Wide off angle played.
Could be on Kayak here. Could be on Kayak over towards A. You see Jing is making his way towards it, but all three players on
Ngantuk sih
Paperex trying to make their
cuman
own
pengen nonton dulu gua.
individual timing play.
Forsaken is caught one. Can they catch it now?
Abang gua nih tuh lihat Ace nih.
Top pulls.
Kan dari
Gelo.
play.
The court access towards it, but still, it's B main control for Fnatic. It should be in a good
Abang lu
spot
siapa
for it.
emang?
Signing speaks
Forsaken
right now
sama
here.
something.
In through the back of the side, it's going to be that plant.
Bla bla bla. Bli bli bli.
Kalau something itu saudara dari bapak gua.
So does Alpha.
Anjing.
Gelo.
Stop
Frank,
this
Frank.
team.
Jing.
Get going. There's no
Jing.
denying that
go.
Nice, Podafai. Let's go.
Let's go.
But 8-4 is where we leave it.
The train
Time out nih, time out nih.
here on Sunset, but then
Sempat
it
diam.
just pull out through Fnatic. A 3v5 that they turn around with a brilliant
Gila sih.
lurk play
Ya
again.
nggak ace ya.
A great idea
Nggak,
of
nggak.
what to do, a great call on it, found the perfect
Aduh,
timing.
pusing,
Forsaken
kepalaku
looks
pusing.
amazing here. He's even overtaken Divine.
Kalah mulu.
Unreal scenes so far. PaperX not
Time
slowing
out.
down. But we're gonna send it down
Bagus
to the
banget
floor.
kameranya,
Special
anjir.
guest is standing by.
Kamera apaan?
Ini kamera VCT.
I am
iyalah.
delighted to be joined by the Riot CEO.
Namanya mahal, bos.
Here. Now, Toronto has been
Mana
such
mungkin
a
sih,
fantastic
murah.
host city. Welcome back, by the way.
Halftime.
Wanted to
Oke, kita
ask you, how
halftime
are you
2 menit
finding
ya.
the event, and also, what have you been up to?
Tidur.
This is such an incredible city. It's home for me. I grew up in Brampton,
aduh.
so it's really special. Yeah, that's right. It's really special to walk the streets of Toronto and see people wearing the Val logo and to be a part of this community. You guys bring such incredible energy to this event. It means so much to us. This is one of the greatest cities in the world, and so to have the opportunity to showcase this to all of our players around the world, that's great. I also would be remiss if I didn't take a second to say thank you to all the players here, to all the players who are watching this online, to the co-streamers and influencers. You guys make it possible for us to bring this event to our players, so I just want to say thank you to everyone. I got the chance yesterday, by the way, to go back to Brampton. The food is the best in Canada, I just gotta say, so.
I completely agree. Now, it's made even more special by the fact Valorant just celebrated its 5th birthday. I remember being there when the game came out, so I wanted to ask you if you could maybe reflect and tell us what it was like on, on launch day.
Yeah, it was crazy. We launched Valorant in the middle of the pandemic with no real perspective on how well it would be loved by players. We knew we had built something that would serve the needs of an audience that cared deeply about a tac shooter. And we thought we had nailed that, but when you launch it in the pandemic, you never know how it's going to play out. And then we didn't know how we were going to serve the game. We were working from home. So we shipped this from people's living rooms. And it wouldn't be where it is if it wasn't for this community. It's been inspiring and humbling to have this be co-created by such passionate players. So we're very, very fortunate and very blessed to have this community build this game with us.
Thank you so much. And also, PaperX might lift their first trophy in 5 years as well. So let's jump back in the game and see if they can close this out.
We're going to see how this first map all shakes out. Time's already ticking. These players are eager to get back into the fight between each other. Fnatic and PaperX.
What an end to that half, though, for PaperX. I mean, if there was any team with momentum here, it would be them. Take a look at the Coinbase Econ report and see if you can pick out a player for PaperX that would be looking to try to invest heavily in the defense half. This is not a map that you expect them to be going too much towards the operator. You know, they eliminated Ascent, for example, which is where something's going to be going heavy with that. But here it's more to do with them playing as a pack, playing as a death ball. And I think Jing and Devi have been great at being able to set up those tip of the spear moments with Forsaken either coming in behind or setting up lurks. And they've just all had phenomenal impact so far. Really feels like they've settled into the rhythm of this map. Yeah.
Yo, kocak, mimpi,
Mimpi tuh, ya.
Yeah, I mean, I think, listen, they're a great team. They've got deep in a lot of tournaments, but
ngimpi ya Bang Jo, ngimpi ya Bang Jo.
Yang kayak gini loh. Papa mau 5.
At the moment though, set up in a great position on a map they should have been favored on.
Liatin mulu.
Gue suka nangis sendiri, Cok. Sedih banget ya. Wah.
Liatin mulu.
Menyedihkan banget gue gitu. Kalau ini mah main
gila itu dari 4-0 belum naik lagi tuh 4. What the hell?
Wah, anjing Fanatic.
Dari bertiga semuanya mati.
Actually might have caught a timing back around the backs, but scurried away. Chronicle and Alpha lived
Semangat, semangat.
Ya, banget.
Enak banget ya rebahan ya.
Enak rebahan.
Ntar gue beli stand dah, anjir. Banget. Saya tergoyah gini.
Enak banget nih kebalik.
Nyecot, gue nyecot Faro.
Iya, stand apaan sih itu coba lihat?
Itu stand biasanya pakai apa? Pakai apa namanya? Nama standnya apa?
Oximus.
Oximus.
Itu
Gua ini
visimu.
Apa iya?
oh gua ini di belakang pakai ini
Oh,
pakai
ini
apa?
visi mahal.
Pakai crossbow gua.
Makanya.
Mahal anjing crossbow.
Itu dua, Lex. Jadi satu dua ginian.
Iya. Gua mau beli tuh yang kayak gitu. Crossbow ini
Berarti
gak
lu
ngotak harganya anjir 400.000.
Berarti lu mau monitors dua.
Gua beli di Informa nih.
Kalau enggak monitor lu angkat, lu pindahin ke depan muka tuh.
Ya kabelnya pada jatuh tuh yang di belakang semua tuh.
Di kayak gue bisa.
Nih kabel di situ terus pada jatuh gitu.
Sama kayak laptop mah enak dong. Sip pindah kemana saja. Udah ada yang mau tidur. Ngantuk.
Juret lagi itu lagi live tuh.
Ya kan mendukung adeknya.
Iya tuh.
Adanya siapa lu?
Adanya kan nih Jason.
After bagus.
Setup mahal.
Mahal. Aku mah cuma punya ini doang. Atau aku mah
Aku mah cuman apa? Anjing apa? Saya mau tidur.
sambil tiduran aja tuh.
Coach Alex ini butuh ini coach, Wiki butuh time out.
Sambil tidur aja tuh.
Oke, gua pindah dulu.
Enggak monitor kameranya pindahin gitu.
Enggak usah deh mager. Sama
Ya udah tiduran. Pindah HP.
Looking to diligently clear these corners.
Tunggu
Waiting
ganti
to see
ronde.
if any of the Paper X players have tried to take a tricky
Kalian
aggro time.
tes.
Cas itu secret after sex bukan? Kaki gua udah ke atas nih anjing.
A devised wall is really good at blocking these gaps. So he's popped it down over towards A right now.
7 kali
No
5
big
berapa
Fanatic
nih?
choosing to break it, which means in theory the defenders could back out of A
3
and go
kali
to cover a
7
different
berapa?
gap. But they're waiting here,
Ah,
expecting
maaf.
Boaster to be a good enough caller to want to break this wall.
Bye-bye.
Poking, prodding, just trying to bring it down. It's going to be fading at a moment's notice, and while that was occurring, something was the only player holding top mid. He's gone
Nah,
back,
ini
takes
aja
him out
dah.
Forsaken, responds. Paranoia is going to be sweeping forwards as well, putting a bit of pause into the step of Fanatic. Slow as they go. Time to be taking crashes, the one with a spike here, and he's going to be dropping it into Forsaken's lap. Full control here. This of the round has gone a bit skewed with Fanatic. They need a miracle, they need it now. The random spam. It's been picked up, but Ching is straight there.
Oh, nice.
Bullet to the body of Alpha. There's not much left that they can really do from this one. Paper X up to 9.
And Forsaken does such a great job of holding market, forcing Fnatic to pay for every inch they take in blood. Even though something falls, Forsaken is not willing to give this up. Even with a drone in his face, he chooses to challenge, to fight. And then catches even a timing on
Pusing kalau dinyalain mungkin lampu, matiin dulu ah.
And that kind of conditioning is going to cause Fnatic to use more utility, be more cautious, always
Ini
doubling
kan
up.
enak.
Bot tadi brother tuh nyocot dulu bot.
Forsaken steps forward again. Oh, he's been caught on the other side of the wall.
Yang swastanya yang besar kalau COD-nya
Gelap-gelapan
That's
ya.
rough. He was trying to break the cam there and still get back into
Iyalah,
enak
gelap.
gitu.
That's a fumble.
Dart to clear this way.
Tetap better lah.
Ball's going to be propped up. We can expect it to still be slow and steady by Fnatic.
And this time Paper X
Enak
do what I was talking about, where they
digoreng.
wall up and leave. But they're pushing the other side of the map, getting Pac-Man in a pretty deep inserted position in B.
It's looking like a B split poster. That's that B main control for them. A very important fight going to be occurring on both sides. Here's something.
Gua bang tidur, gua tidur.
Like a rocket man, but the bodies are totaled anyway. Fnatic
Anjir HP Samsung gua casan Samsung gua ketinggalan di rumah bawah. Cuy.
You love to see plays like that from Paper X, leaning on some of the classic.
Gua download Discord juga di sini.
But Fanatic dealt with it. Maybe this is the kind of pace
Itu di kota siapa?
Ya pakai iPhone.
Oh.
HP-nya sekarat, tak download di Android.
Anaknya punya banyak HP.
Cuy, pusing. Kok enak pusing ya.
Dia ganti-ganti HP tiap hari.
Kayak gitu nanti kalau udah dewasa baru ngerti.
Sambil stretching nih anjing nontonnya.
Gila tuh, gila tuh. Gila tuh.
Allowing something to build up a little closer to the Hunter's Fury, which is a incredibly useful ultimate.
Kalau punya Arctic enak, bisa apa? Bisa wireless headsetnya.
Boaster's calling for his team to explore over towards B. And Patman, he's been trying to challenge this.
Baba.
Once more, they do not want to give any space
Ya,
for
tempat
free.
sudah menghilang.
Fnatic are going to have to fight to get into these post plans. All down.
Anjir gua lupa itunya anjir apa password apa akun Discordnya
Ngapain maju?
Coba perlu lu kempesin lu.
Iya mau ntar.
Coba lu kempesin kan bisa. Tahan napas, coba tahan napas.
Apa sih?
It's going to be offloading that ultimate now. Overdrive in hand. Trying to put a stop to Hartman, and there's only so much you can do. There's a neon AD in your face.
Alah.
Ki kanan.
Trying to go for the trade out. Alpha's there in time.
And Alpha is the hero of the round. Takes a pretty large
Push up lu baru menang.
forwards to the showstopper, but catches a nice timing on the
Bro, push up lu.
Gak bisa gua.
Utilizes his ultimate.
Baru menang,
And they
percaya
realize
gak?
there is a huge gap in the defense all the way up mid into Market and Boba.
Aku mau gak punya.
They catch these players on the B side, separating them entirely from those defenders that would love to rotate and support. Here's the timeout once again. This was
Aku
what
punya
made
mood
all
yang
the
ketangkap.
difference before.
Apa?
Alex had some input, and they ran the next 8 rounds
Tidak
in a
seperti
row on their attack side, Paper X. What's the adjustment here? I think it is very tough to play against Fnatic's slow-paced style. When you don't have a sentinel in your composition, you can't just sit back. You've got to meet that caution with some aggression of your own.
Udah gak kuat cong, ngantuk banget ini. Apalagi dikasih rebahan, lampu mati, udahlah.
I think Paper X today needs to be playing fast and cocky, yeah, but they also need to be playing smart. They need these adjustments coming through from Alex to be able to tell them the right times to go aggro, the right ways in which to play the retake.
You can see from the money situation, Divine drifting into the operator, might still stick towards it. Change his mind, but maybe a central piece to try and hold together this defense.
And I think the interesting component of that too is he's the Sage, and the wall is also an essential component of their mid-rounding defense and their info game. So is he going to play for the wall early and then in the mid-round get posted up with the op, or does he try to take early angles and ignore the fact that his wall could be finding good value in the mid?
Wall in his face for now. We find towards the top. So Cam taken out and a double face destroyed.
Waduh, apa itu?
And so now you've got no off, no wall, no res. One of your most important players hits the deck so early.
Paper is left wandering out into the open, but Alpha. Good pick. Best that they could potentially find.
He might have even seen 2 on the minimap there as he died, because it looked like something about men were doubled up.
Paper brought it even 4 versus 4 now, and another 3-2-1 into the space.
Bajir.
That's disgusting work.
That's beautiful. The neon movement as well to just glide away from the trade. He's sharp, confident, and starting this hit into the B side. Paper X, I mean, they don't even have the tools, the funds here to contest, frankly.
They've scrambled away. Might look to try and save some of the guns, operator perhaps, but drifting in like they want to try and take a chunk out of Fnatic.
They've got 4 players that aren't going to be able to buy in the next round.
Unwise. I think they've realised it.
One of the players could go for something. If they found a lurk, if they found...
Masa comeback sih?
But Patman, he picks up the operator and they just play for it into the next round. 2 opportunities for Paper X to be trying to find an early pick through mid. One with the open, one with the double face, and both dismantled. Really sharp shooting here from Fnatic.
They'll be drawing it level with that one. 9-9 for Fnatic. That experience, that grit.
You talk about drawing in though. Look at
Aduh,
the
timingnya Patman.
They're gonna save them. Forsaken steadily being overwhelmed at this point. This gaps are gonna try to break down in the final moments. No respite. No saving.
But no
consolation prizes. And yeah, no money, like you said, Josh. This is now a dire circumstance.
Gila tuh.
Oh, what a shot.
That's beautiful.
Barely sees a glimmer.
What the fuck, bro?
And then the kayak 1v2 afterwards is spectacular as well. Something doesn't get much of a chance there. I helped you, bro.
Gue liatnya sampai gatal nih pala gua.
Paper X are willing to take the risks on rounds like this, and it's Forsaken who goes straight down with the
Tidur klik ah, gue duluan keluar Discord ya, tunggu hasilnya doang.
Oke Bang Mat, thank you Bang Mat.
Di masuk.
Ape, Faro, Ape.
What's going on?
They Viper walled for mid, so the Forsaken could push, but that meant that Patman didn't have his own Viper wall in B main that he's been playing around.
Forsaken still stands up, but okay, can't avoid that one. Kayak is sharp right now.
Fnatic doing a great job of dealing with all of this defensive pressure, and like I've been saying over and over again, Paper X have to do this. It might look like Paper X are just kind of walking into their demise, but their composition relies on them getting active on defense. They can't just sit back. And Fnatic are not giving them an easy game here. They are not hitting sights and execing until the very final moments.
Pere kalau gue
And by that point, Paper X have
si
already given them a pick.
Titi sama beli Fanatic lah bandelan.
Pressure across the board, something re-exploring. It's a head ripped off, but immediately again the answer back's there. Market is open and accessed here for Fnatic. Something's being squeezed.
You know where both of these players are though. Most is just calling for the full rotate over towards A. Something got a kill, Divide threw out a slow off, Divide even get picked over towards both, and they've got a great idea of where something is.
Time
It's a 4v1.
10 seconds left.
No real opportunity here for something. Maybe feeling like he has to do it all.
Spike planted.
I planted on A. This is a dire circumstance for Paper X.
Forsaken only has 800
Di
credits.
A, oi, di A,
So
oi.
this is just a slam dunk save.
Apa you masih
It's
hold
entirely on the wrong
DB?
side of the map with no information, and I don't think he's going to keep a weapon. Decapitates something. Fnatic take the lead back. It's been a while since we were able to say that.
That's just ring and run of rounds that Paper X earned in that first half. Offset now, Fnatic. There is no denying that resilience. They've showed it all tournament long.
Enemy remaining.
Only a few teams in the history of these.
Wow, coach aja pusing, apalagi gua sebagai penonton, sebagai fans pusing lihatnya. Kenapa pala-pala gitu?
Pusingan pelatih nggak sih?
FPX
Ya, sama-sama pusing lah.
denying Paper X the trophy when Paper X came through that upper bracket.
Yo line up.
The first time that Paper X ever had a chance at a trophy. Another slow beginning from Fnatic, never allowing Paper X
Say
to
GG.
round.
Cautious tale that they're weaving across the map.
A drone up over the top, trying to get a little bit of information, but doesn't see Alpha yet, tucked behind the pillar. They might want to go for that same 3-2-1 mid re-clear, even Divide coming to try to help it out.
Tapi kalau gitu pelatihnya nggak bisa ngomong sama ininya ya.
Enggak lah, kalau mulai nggak bisa. Nggak bisa
Tapi
apa?
kalau bypass,
Pokoknya timeout doang kalau nggak salah tuh.
That's big.
bypass nggak bisa.
Timeout doang kalau nggak salah.
Apa
Beautiful
ini?
timing, but Divide's there with the res.
It's getting hot and heavy, brought all the way
Ulti apa dia?
Itu loh, kiri lu. Nah,
Nah,
itu deket. Ah, harusnya menang. Gak lucu kalau 2 versus 4 kalah.
kalau kalah
Nice.
nah gitu.
Nice.
So tough for Fnatic to be able to get this fight down in that situation. Not only was the time against them, but something still had the Hunter's Fury in the back pocket too. Booster going for the fake there and just completely whiffing the teleport. Mechanical error. Seen a couple of them today from a few players. I think that showcases the nerves that can hit even the most experienced people when it comes to the grand finals. The game level though, and PaperX with a really critical one to win in that prior. They still have massive ultimates that if they can run the time down are going to be super important. That shock dart is supposed to break a trip, and the lineup just off.
Panas, pajukeun. Nyantai, mana teh defender. Kalem, per second, kalem. AA per second, kalem.
Kasih tahu Bang Faisal.
Trying to take down fights, and he has put the rookie in his place. Kayak. There's no more. Chronicle going for a little bit more. Again, these smokes causing issues.
Forsaken just cannot be dug out of these spots. He was doing the same thing over towards Market to win PaperX around previously. Look how much Fnatic are struggling to be able to even get information over here. They're droning in towards B, trying to pull defensive rotates. Boaster might be the playmaker up mid. But Forsaken is here again.
Moved in, drops down though.
Whiffy.
Nice.
Whiffy. No control over the rifle in that spot. Something. Puts a stop to it in a 3v5 scenario. Fnatic still looking to see if they can test towards that A side. Jing propped up. Missed the timing onto the cross.
The fuck, bro.
Tahan,
kalem.
Fnatic have access towards it, but Hunter's Fury is let loose to try and deny the plans. He's giving them hot feet.
Nice.
But there's the connection they were looking for. PaperX.
God bless you, PaperX.
Two crucially important rounds here towards the tail end, where it looked like Fnatic.
Lah, gua kalau ada yang ulang tahun suka gitu.
And I think so much of it is down to Forsaken. The space on the map that Fnatic want to try to take.
Coba lagi suaranya.
It's impossible. Forsaken is everywhere.
Coba
He should be
suaranya tadi.
respecting utility. They wouldn't be willing to take this level of risk, but Forsaken is. And he's constantly re-challenging, trying to get back on the angle.
What the?
On the very edge of the risk that you can take, but not getting punished for it. And he's just making all of this map control feel impossible for Boaster's calling. That's why Boaster had to make that play up mid in the prior. Once again, it is only Forsaken defending this spot over towards A. And yet they'll have a hard task going through it.
Lihat dulu YouTube.
Alt tab.
They do have a cover that they can pop.
Benar dia
They should be able
lengkapnya.
to get a tag and push him off potentially.
Benar.
Oh iya benar katanya.
Flying forward, start to TP. Evacuation back to the side, paranoia.
Beneran nancep.
Up and over towards the top, there's a smoke to play in. Forsaken.
Lihat dulu YouTube itu.
Iya.
Nice.
Forsaken! Just sidestepping all of them. Reinforcements have arrived. PaperX.
Keyboard apa ya?
Beda-beda kan mereka bawa sendiri sama mouse padnya.
Berarti nanti mouse-nya mau dua, nanti dikasih chip, disetting dulu. Gini dulu. Nah, salah kali gini. 13:10
Managed to open up the site. This just looks like a pure save.
No time left. It's whittled
No
down.
time.
And PaperX.
Look at the impact, Brent, again that Forsaken had here. It was impossible to get through. They had to use a cam, a recon, huge amounts of info.
Apaan?
Ultimate as well to push him back. And all that happened was he played inside of his own smoke. Used the paranoia, got 2 kills and then teleported to the other side and made them save through sheer aura. The anchor play is phenomenal.
Kayak gua, bro.
So far.
Same confidence.
Kalau lagi mood.
Semuanya
Sik.
Concerning.
Time out.
semua.
Perhaps Fanatic are the villains to Paper X's protagonist anime arc.
Kalau nggak bermutan gitu
With that chuckle, maybe Batman's the villain in disguise.
The Riddler's in the building. The Joker, take your pick.
Nah, udah gua mau ikutin lu.
Has just been storming up the scoreboard in these last few rounds. Kayak and Alpha were doing huge work for Fnatic on that run in the third quarter. And now that we're getting towards the end of the game, Paper X up towards map point. It really has felt like the final boss is forsaken to get.
Coba apa?
This player that plays everything.
Mau jadi aspas lu, mau jadi aspas. Gua mau jadi aspas. Kan gini.
Stepped up as a caller. The evolution of Forsaken has been
Tidur.
Kan aspas gitu kalau misalnya half time terus apa?
Refreshing.
Apa tuh? Gear apa? Technical meeting. Technical pause. Apalah.
What the fuck? Apa itu gak kelihatan?
Burung.
What the fuck?
Nggak jadi.
Tapi biasanya setia, Cok.
Ya. Biasanya. Tapi gak tahu kalau udah kaya. Nah itu. Anjing. Nice. Pantai, satu lagi.
Nice.
2 versus 1. 2 versus 1.
9 HP bukan menang.
Wah. Kalau tadi menang, gua pargoy anjing. Nice try banget itu. Darahnya 9 masalahnya, Cok.
Trying to hold on to mid, and here Divide gets overwhelmed by a stun, and something caught up, has to turn, pivot in a moment, and catch his Chronicle. Almost made the magic happen.
Tuh.
But still Fnatic, with that grit, pushes to the final round of regulation.
Serai banget.
Can they give overtime in map 1?
Oh, perek ini banget, Cok, miskin banget.
Gelo.
Nice light aku.
Awas. Nice. Ayo come on lah, satu lagi lah.
Santai.
Ayo dong. Nggak kalah sih. Please no OT, please.
Come to my world. Come on. Nice.
Gelo. Let's go. El Pargoy.
Balas tidur.
Nanti lah, kalah bos kalau kalah.
Apa itu? Pasti ada Amerika yang itu, iya. Di Jepang aja.
Rata-rata homeless tuh Amerika.
Jepang juga ada. Mana dia pada anak.
Waduh.
Let's go boy. Kawin sama gua apa? Kawin sama gua sini.
master juga.
Susah gue dapetin dulu. Nikahnya sama tukang angkot.
No comment itu.
Try and beat it. I'll give you a sec.
Coba pukul kamera nih.
Keluar.
Oh iya, ada nama Omen.
Ya.
Boleh kasih laptopnya? Tidak. Berkata apa? Tidak.
He was a episode.
Kenapa?
Better bikin PC.
Ya benar. Tuin.
Mending cari handset.
Lebih murah. Tapi kalau PC mindahinnya susah.
Esports is a $2 billion industry now, but it all started in dingy basements and cramped living rooms.
From how the pros train to how the money flows, this G2 and MasterCard series breaks it all down. 12 episodes packed with insight and lessons for anyone looking to understand the world of competitive gaming. Ready to learn the game behind the game?
Stay tuned for what's next. You won't want to miss it.
Belum lo tidur?
Lu lihat gue lagi apa?
Enggak, habis ini.
Agak.
Beneran, bentar tidur lagi. Ngantuk tapi nggak bisa tidur.
Sumpah deg-degan banget.
Itu bangke ya.
Nice.
Kenapa sih?
Tidur, Bray.
Tidur ya.
Mau pindah ke HP nih. Siapa tahu ketiduran. Lihat dulu, Bray.
Kalau mau ngeluarkan hajat tapi bisa.
Mengeluarkan hajat, ngeluarin tai.
Ngeluarin hajat, boker lah.
Sepi
Ya gua nggak tahu.
Takut.
Bayangin lagi boker, dicokot sama ular bijinya.
Kelas kick mahal.
Lagi.
Aduh, biji gua hilang.
Terus mikir gitu, ada ular, naplok di bawah, tuh jatuh.
Iya, itu pikirannya Dabot, Cok.
Oh, masa WC duduk katanya dicaplok ular? Berotak senku.
Ada yang bisa, tapi di Indonesia jarang, kecuali lu di hutan.
Nah, itu baru.
Kali rumah lu kayak opot tuh. Nah, itu ada.
Kalimantan.
Ada ular.
Ya.
Ya, kayak gitu-gitu. Tapi kalau lu di kota mana ada anjing masuk toilet. Kayak di Depok nih. Mana bisa anjing ular masuk ke kloset, Cok.
Yang ada ularnya udah digiles kok sama motor.
Yang ada lu ketemu ular tuh kalau lagi ngewe di hutan. Iya, Cok. Udah jam malam nih, pembahasannya udah beda. Ularnya ada dua, ular jadi-jadian sama ular beneran.
Espresso americano orang Bogor.
Oh iya dulu pasti pulang.
Si kocak tadi. Liongkeun Chess. Tuh di like tuh sama Bogor. estetika
Lagi lihat apa nih? Nih, cek ke Gunung Rinjani.
inilah darah nih.
What a way to kick off this grand finals. I'm now joined by Paper Rex's head coach Alex. That last round has got to be one of the most outrageous things we've ever seen.
Bukan ini mah bro.
Saha nggak kelihatan gelap. Hidung. Saha iya. Oh yang itu.
Enggak,
Ya, oke lah.
streamer ini.
Oh bukan yang itu, bukan yang tele.
Bukan.
No, kirain.
Kelasnya transparan.
Kalau yang di tele kayak gini udah gua kejar, gak bakal gua lepasin.
Mau lihatnya helm mahal.
Kalau misalnya dia punya orang lain.
Gak mahal sih. Sebenarnya kurang satu lagi gara-gara kemarin tuh sering putus anjing.
Apaan? Anjing helm mahal di bawah zenggol dong.
Zeus yang mahal ininya anjing kacanya 300.000 anjing kacanya.
Mahal king, wen ya punya helm.
Wen ya punya motor.
5 bulan lagi bang.
Bisa lah punya motor kayak orang masuk UI dulu baru dibeliin aerob.
Amin.
Nggak amin sih gue setelah mendengar perkalian dan pembagian aja nggak ngerti.
Udah tadi udah ngobrol sama bapak gue katanya masuk Universitas Unpad kata gue. Masuk Universitas Unpad aja.
Unpad entot anjing. Iya, salah.
Pemikiran.
Jago itu si Faisal mang sana jago, Cok.
Pemikiran
keahlian dasar.
Ada
Lo
yang
belum pernah
dibantu.
ngeliat digoyang kan, Yan?
Apa?
Gua ada video digoyang, Cok. Jago anjing.
Males.
Bunuh ntar jangan lah.
Jago itu dia. Goyang-goyang manja anjing.
Mana coba lihat.
Cocok dia masuk Universitas Unpad, Cok. Unpad entot.
Jangan.
Coba lihat deh.
Agak.
Jangan deh.
Oh lu berani lu sama gua. Masih mending gua nggak mau gua kirim beneran mampus lu. Udah. Kamu jangan macam-macam kamu sama saya. Video kamu banyak ada di saya ya.
Ya bang, maaf.
Galerinya Bang Jo aib semua kali ya.
Iya, Cok, aib semua, Cok.
Mana yang foto di sebelah?
Selama kamu tidak macam-macam, saya tidak macam-macam juga.
Kapan gua macam-macam? Kapan?
Lihat saja kayaknya.
Tuh dihapus.
Wins on it where the other team barely even accrues like 4 or 5 rounds, so and they just run like super standard comp and they play the map in a way that really sets up their play style.
Dua smoker icebox tuh
Main
anjir.
di map apa sih?
Icebox.
Aduh, map Cuki, Cok.
Map bagus Icebox.
Tumben nggak ada yang pakai Yoru. Menarik.
Something pakai jet udah kayak gua antar nih lihat.
Apa gue pindah apa ya?
Salah udah.
Wanit.
Something kalau pakai jet kayak lu, waduh, gila sih.
Gua
say that. I mean, obviously, are we going to see
Jadi deh.
Someone taking those aggro fights? But notably, Jing on the Omen, the difference between these two
Salah
roles
udah.
is the Sage passivity and
minum
the
dulu.
Omen aggression. And I'm going to be looking at
Sofa tuh di
Jing
sini
on
bagus
Air
emang
kencing
sofa tuh.
what fights he's taking. How does that Omen really shift the game, right? Because the smokes are very different than just a solo Viper comp.
Sofa Killjoy emang di sini
Everyone to take fights because when you have that second
nomor
controller,
1.
now the Vipers
Ini
like,
Yoru
okay, they
gua
don't
sih
really need my
bagus.
wall for the post line too much because if I go down,
Iya,
then the Omen can
bagus.
smoke, and that works both ways, right? If the Omen goes down,
Sama
the Viper
Raji
can play the wall,
terbaik.
so it opens up actually everyone to make
Kalau di
those
sini
aggressive
kurang.
fights, which is just so
Iya.
good for the paper
Belum
style.
siapa
And it's
ya?
also Jing playing it, so you know
Di
he's
sini
gonna be
Yoru kalau nggak ya
he's
itu.
going for those individual plays as well. It
Sebenarnya
gives
Jet
him,
bagus, cuma kurang OP
opportunity to
aja
double TP
sekarang
and
tuh.
go for your own stuff with the paranoia
Di
too, outside of just
nerf
the strength the
dulu.
agent brings.
All right, well, Mel, thank you so much for joining us here.
Icebox
Now let's
Pro
send
tuh
it back
rumahnya
over
Jet
to your
sebenarnya,
casters and see
cuma
if
ya
Fanatic can
gitu.
come back into this one and tie the series 1-1.
Kurang sekarang gara-gara banyak dinner
We're
kan
about to
kemarin.
find out here on
Ya, apa ya,
Icebox.
terbangnya, ultinya.
Territory here for Fnatic. Think about it in a certain sense like that. It is a best of 5.
Pakai Jet siapa?
Advantage on the side of PaperX.
Something.
They're not done yet.
Something
They've shown
Jet.
that resilience, that grit.
Paling
They
kalau
dug
Fnatic
deep
sih kayak
this entire event to make it here to this point right now.
They've always been one loss away from elimination. I think
buat
this,
tisu dia
though,
udah
this
siap mau
map
coli itu.
does feel like a bit of a must-win for Fnatic. The one after this, Pearl, which is Fnatic's
Itu pialanya ya.
is where PaperX are taking us.
Nah,
Fnatic have got to get out to a good start here and
Icebox.
equalize the series if they want a serious chance of
aduh
picking
map
up another one of those trophies.
rasanya.
Define.
In this half, be expecting PaperX to be contesting space. Think about the way that they made it difficult for Fnatic to get room on their attack side. I mean, this, for example, a triple face, super committed from PaperX. Hoping maybe just to find Alpha yet, taking a timing. He's normally going to be the solo player on A if the rest of the team is working B. But Fnatic are just trying to figure out which part of the map PaperX are playing for.
Ini
Where are they
mau
fighting?
tisu buat apaan?
And this is a silent way of fighting.
Ya buat ini liquid, buat liquid.
Bener kan
Apalagi.
pikiran gua apa tadi, Cok? Iya, Cok.
Buat
Aduh,
liquid, dia ikut gua kan bocor mulu ini.
di one tap Q, bro.
Aku pindah HP lu mau kon mandi.
Forsaken, Jing.
Ai.
On cam ya di WC-nya ya.
And even Jing actually
Yeah.
leaving the A site entirely, ready for the reaction of Fnatic into B.
Time that spike and they're just seeing
Oh,
it.
Nice,
bocor
dapat.
anjing.
Trying to take that timing forwards. Divide shuts it down before it gets a little bit messy here. Side control still a little bit all over the place. And there's a timing.
Oh, nice banget.
Can't get the shots lined up.
Wave manja gitu, bro.
Walking all over them.
Alah, nice. Per second.
A nice pistol
Sorry,
round, the
anjing,
first one
tapi.
for PaperX in the series. They
Mana
didn't need either of
kali?
them on Sunset.
On cam dong.
Tight one. But they managed to get it over the
Bener
line.
dong.
This
Farzi.
idea works perfectly against the way that Fnatic are going to be taking these slow-paced fights.
Kita di sini bersama
Set
Farzi.
up to punish people as they contacting in.
Tidak ada yang pakai Farzi ya. Tidak seru.
On cam atau Faro Emane.
Sabar.
Too happy with how
Dimarahin lu,
No,
yo.
things are still winnable even without a pistol.
Ini udah masih di kamar.
And Fnatic start out in a pretty similar way. Forsaken grabs the ult orb over towards A. There's a smoke up on belt that stops you from being able to contest this angle early. And on B,
Ayo dong, Piarek menang dong.
pretty aggressive position.
Menang.
If you try to
Biar bandel yang gue beli nggak sia-sia waktu itu.
Nice. Nice.
Gacor anjing. Gacor anjing.
Nice. Nice. Nice.
Let's go.
Tulis lagi.
getting 3 from that
Kalau
position.
3-0 lu Pargoy nggak?
That's ridiculous. Halfway up almost.
3-0 Pargoy nggak?
Lockdown online.
Kan Piarek menang.
What a shot the first one.
Iya, tapi 3-0. Ya kali, nggak Pargoy 3-0.
And another demonstration that PaperX are going to take fights. Plenty of players in that spot would see many people in mid and just back up.
Yang bisa merayakan Perek apa sih? Joget apa ya? Nggak mau gak Pargoy gua.
PaperX are going to contest that
Apa dong?
space and force you to earn it.
Velocity yang bisa
Something with an off online is
merayakan
round
apa?
3.
Kalau Velocity.
Gue jarang nonton goyang-goyangan gitu sih.
Tapi gua gak mau Pargoy. Dia apa aja tapi jangan Pargoy.
in round 3.
Nggak tahu dah. 3-0 langsung beli bundle malam ini.
Tai lo. Kurang ditnyanyi.
Gas gak sih? Gas gak sih?
Kurang.
Berapa sih harganya? Bundle tuh lupa. Coba gue lihat dulu dah. City Capsule 2025.
Alah,
250.000.
Ya gak ada bang duitnya sekarang mas gitu.
Salah udah.
100.000 mah ada.
Ya udah. Salah udah. Iya.
Nice.
Oh,
wah low banget cok.
Gurunya low tapi anjing. Mau gimana cok ini? Aduh.
Dengan IQ-nya Batman. Your left bro. Nice.
Wih, hello bro.
Abang gua ini yang ke-10.
Pengganti main freak cok. Clutch manja.
Gak expect gua anjing.
Gila ngeri sih. Aimnya gacor anjing.
That dirt. Oh.
Poster he opens but couldn't close. Alex is happy about that one. The more flood defend aggressive style really is working here for PaperX. Fanatic are finding it difficult.
Big drone. It's broken early. Crashies was just looking to clear that space.
Arapci menang VCT, gue beli bandelnya. Kalah langsung aja gue ngomong gitu.
Dia mah cuma assalamualaikum terus waalaikumsalam lagi.
Tapi kemarin yang Pasifik boleh lah, jagonya.
Ya, Pasifik jago.
Gila anjing langsung dibantai cok. 2 orang mati spike drop. Mantep, aduh. Oke nggak apa-apa. Aduh. Ngeri anjing emang orang cok. Si kayak Kima ini cok. Nice. Ganol sih ini mah. Tuh, tapi kok gue lapar ya.
Ada bus nol.
Gue udah rebus telur sih. Masih lapar nih.
Mana yang katanya mau on cam nih?
Jadi on cam ya Faisal.
Ya, siapa?
Fanatic's coach is already deciding to take a tactical
Parzi.
really early on in the half.
Apa?
I think Alex told a little bit
Gelap
about it.
aja on camnya cok.
He was already out of them by the time it got to crunch
Kan
time.
pakai celana dulu ya.
Kind of stuff at the end of
Salah udah.
The pressure hitting early on.
Oh, headset lagi satu-satunya nggak ada.
Looking to stop that momentum. PaperX have.
Headsetnya hilang.
Itu nulis buat apa sih, Cok?
Hard to do against a freight train going at Mach 10 speeds. That's what PaperX are playing like. Lights out, determined to be the ones to lift that trophy.
The only team to really put a hold on it was
Faisal mana?
way earlier on. And honestly, since then,
Lo pakai
has just
speaker?
been accelerating all the way through that upper bracket. It's really difficult to stop a team that has momentum like this when they're feeling confident and are going for peaks at unexpected times. You've got to be ready for anything against PaperX. What's frustrating in this tournament, I would imagine, is that it's at quite different timings compared to usual. Here's an adjustment. Snake bite and a shot and a half there to delete Jing. Snaps up.
Jing is gone.
So they've denied Forsaken getting that Hunter's Fury online and found themselves in a 5v4. Couldn't ask for a better beginning for Fnatic.
Push, that's a cheeky one,
Like-
Batman. I don't want to overstay yourself though. Drones forward, something's going for another fight.
Mana ya?
The apple! And he evens the score.
I don't think that's too bad though for Fnatic. They
Yeah,
do still
like-
have a res to be able to work around with. They're droning.
Nih,
Boaster's taking a little bit of space in mid. This is a risk.
Ini ada-
And he's pre-aiming the wrong spot here. Just spotted it. Something seen it. Out for the
Ada
shoulder,
pandannya.
dart against it. With a spam expecting the Boaster would cross out, and he's got out. He's got free. Alpha exploring on the other side. Device done. The spike in the hands of Chronicle. It's going to be a quick plant now.
Yeah, that's huge. Fnatic were anticipating the Paper X would be denying the res, and so B would be more open. Instead, Divide was holding it and got deleted. Still a player advantage for Fnatic in the post plan.
An ADS stub, Alpha yet, top form. Really trying to drag that first round on the board here for Fnatic. Brute force and mechanics. Exactly what they ordered. Forsaken's still going to be making a go at this one though. Alongside Patman, time no ticking. Spike, it's getting out of hands and push forwards, press
Like-
the advantage. Alpha yeah! Smelling blood in the water.
Kemana sih?
Di bawah.
If he gets online, could be a very
Ngapain?
different game. I mean, he still played fantastically in the first map, don't get me wrong.
Kamu lagi
But we've seen
itu
matches
ya.
that Fnatic have been playing, honestly, not just at this tournament, but at the end of stage 1 too, where he just took
Kamu
over.
lagi itu ya.
In my opinion, probably front runner for MVP at this point.
Tuh
Alpha,
iya lagi.
but competing alongside Jing, maybe even Forsaken for that kind of title.
Emang ini tuh apa maksudnya?
Nih, ininya.
They'll need him though. Paper X still up 4-1.
Aku lapar ya.
Few ults online, Fnatic.
Kesian lah.
Another util, gotta respect that.
Alik.
Yeah, that constant conditioning of taking the ult orb early
Gue
is just
hilang.
forcing some level of utility to be used for Fnatic. This round they decide not to use the snake bite, but have to use a slow orb instead.
Patman. Here's a drone.
Kamu kenapa?
Side steps out of it, looking to take a timing rather than breaking it.
Yeah, he wants to play this aggressive. Again, think about the way that Forsaken, for example, was playing on Sunset. You want to force Fnatic to earn every
Nah,
inch.
ambil minum dulu.
All up, all down. Boaster sees an advantage and a spot to try and play in, but the first shot just missed. On either side here, smoke up in your face. And Paper X re-exploring.
A completely empty here, Brent. Paper X have got the right read to play it for retake.
As a dash active, Kag wants to try and go with it. Updraft over towards it. Alpha, my God, tapping away and snap into the domes of any adversary.
It's remarkable the consistency that he's got.
Setting bro, setting
Had to
bro.
deal there with a player in a pretty unexpected position at bottom tube. Forced a 1v1 and came out the better end of it. Some things in a fairly unwinnable position. And again, Alpha yeah goes hunting at the end. He is thirsty. Got his lockdown online. So overall, as well on both sides to try to deal with it, so the Killjoys are not in a perfect position to be able to get value out of their ults. But this has knocked Paper X's economy back after just 2 rounds. And the plays that they're going for, getting shut down. This one, not necessarily set up, but a pretty reasonable timing for Divide to go for. Trying to take an unexpected peek, knowing that was probably a 1v1, but just gets sat in his place by the Turkish aim god. It's incredible when you think about some of the changes that these teams have made. I mean, let's take it from Fnatic's perspective. Trying for another trophy without Leo and Durka, which I think people would have talked about them being absolutely fundamental parts of the reason that Fnatic were able to go back-to-back in 2023. But still able to rely on pillars of the team like Alpha yeah and Boaster's Calling, Chronicle 2. You know, this core has been able to plug in other pieces. A rookie of Kayak, a player looking for redemption like Crashies, and still have a chance, another chance at glory.
Testament, I think, to the quality of the core on Fnatic. Paper X be trailing when it comes to that economy, but not with the rounds. They take the time out, discuss what has been going wrong.
And I think, really, the type of fights that they've been going for, there's still a decent chance of success in these spots. But it's about Getting
Minum, haus
Fnatic
minum, gue juga minum.
situations and timings that they're not quite anticipating.
But quick dash though, this is Fnatic.
Way faster.
Way
Kata
faster.
Ilham.
To really receive, they might be having
Lihat
a
ini
shots in
astagfirullah.
potentially. Swinging wide, as
Saya
I
mau
say, that's
headset aja ini.
around the corner already.
Karetnya bukan.
Sideline, not gonna be
Iya,
given too much.
karena
Just spots the one.
Carilah posisi itu, masih
Battling
di situ.
shots on. Updraft now, knives in
Tapi kan
hand.
gue keluar mana nih
Cleared away,
masalahnya.
cleave, a path to
Kok lu
victory.
jatuh di keluar mana nih?
Gone. Cut out the picture now, Swarm. The Nano Swarms themselves, lockdown even being committed. Paper X are using this.
Aduh ulti, anjay.
Cara tinggi nih.
Bullet to the side, Sheriff's there, and he needs to try and break this one. No, bullet
Cara
surely was
tinggi.
just there. And one detainment on it, something sticking. Oh, just yanked out of back pocket. Anything to secure this round for Fnatic now. And they need it. Something trying to play his life to the final moments. The right click to no avail.
Kena komik ini.
And a round win for Fnatic, though a costly one on an anti-eco.
Berapa sih
Having to
skornya?
use some pretty large ultimates there. But a lockdown
Pokoknya
utilized on
cewek
both
cewek.
sides. Definitely felt winnable when
Rambutnya
something
mirip
came in over
cewek.
the top. I can understand why
Ya, cewek.
Paper X would want to send it. They did in fact manage to
Aku
break
tahu
that
di diemin.
Gak tahu.
Unfortunately, weaponry just not quite good enough for not having people caught in Device lockdown. This round though, Forsaken, the end result of all of that, has that ult to empower the rest of his team to flood defend and something
Ada Alpha
with an
aja.
op.
Lihat deh.
Pushed by Jing as well.
Operator
His op was
balik.
amazing earlier on in the tournament. We got to see him pull it out on Ascent, and he was working magic with it.
Get his chance again, but hard to tell where Fnatic are looking to lead and end.
They're throwing down a slow orb
Niva yang pakai
over
apa?
towards A, making it feel perhaps like they're taking early A control, and then Boaster leading them back towards B with 3 bodies. Making sure that they're grouped up, able to trade out Patman if he goes for something wild.
Spotting Alpha. Just him even going for a bit of a fight towards Taken. I mean, he's lucky to be alive there.
That's so bold.
Pop it up onto the box. And the read is only coming in just now. Paper X realizing potentially a little bit late. Scattered bodies, but are going to hit a wall now. Realize that they've missed their mark, potentially. Snap towards the top. Patman's still alive here. Something from the side. And Alpha wants to try and slink in himself. There's 28 seconds left, and they're getting cold feet. They're going to go towards A.
Something bakang
He's found a
lu.
beautiful timing here. Might be able to catch something.
You're
even,
behind, bro.
And he's already calling for Boaster to make the rotate around.
Absolutely, he bites his time.
Bisa ya.
Just deleting
Kecewa.
adversaries now. There's 14 seconds left. You've got to get a move on.
He's going to be able to get spiked down here though, Boaster.
Going forward, there's a TP back behind as well, obfuscating the intent. Jing can really just put a stop to all of this right now, but Alpha in through mid, traded out, cleaned up. One left onto the site. Boaster is
The
trying
fuck,
to
masa
stop
absen?
flank as well occurring. Crashes.
Dapai.
Drifting all the way in. And backs towards him, they are none the wiser.
Nice.
As I say that, Device shuts me up. It's left down to Boaster, being squeezed onto the site. Devi and Jing tightening the net, spamming away,
Nice.
and they find their mark.
What awareness there from Divine towards the end. Crashy's knife out, trying to find the timing, almost perfect. And Divine just thinks to check behind for a moment towards screens. They haven't seen the Sova in a while. Look at that play though from Patman. Working his way forwards again, aggressively challenging as the plank goes down. Always forcing Fnatic to work for it. And inside the pit, great coordination from Divine. And Forsaken, I think it was towards the end. Just closing the net. Off back in the hands, something going aggro.
Yeah, straight down mid, but there's knives to meet him. Kayak is there, holding for the peak the barrel, just poking out. Seems to be aware of the chance.
Has he spotted it?
I don't know. With the angle's been played, he's definitely holding for it. He suspects it. Someone gonna overstep.
An inch further forward, and Kayak for sure would see it. There
Snap.
gives away the hand.
Yeah. Just from the jump spot there, and attempted a punish. Shot
Apaan
dropped.
sih?
No committal. Alpha is right there.
That's an insane adjustment from Alpha here as well. Divide tries to swing into cover and gets deleted.
He's trying to plug up those gaps, but up through Kitchen they are none the wiser again. It's Kayak. Drifted in, walking in, dash is active, missed the timing, caught it onto all of them!
Apaan loncat
Kayak,
tolong.
the patience in that moment tears open the map. Fanatic, they realize they've got it at this point.
Saving.
Again leaning hard on Alpha and Kayak to get
Something,
it all done.
sini something.
That's incredibly impressive though. A reminder once more that this is Kayak's first global event.
Ya aduh anjing.
This is his first grand
Panik,
final.
dia panik.
It hasn't been that long since he won Ascension and started playing in the big leagues.
Belakangnya ada. Nunggu dia.
Wah.
Wah.
Up put over towards the top. Kayak. Tasty little
Game apa sih ini?
That's some unbelievable composure for a rookie player though. That's the kind of timing
Yap.
that you would only expect somebody with a
Maksudnya
huge
apa?
amount of experience to be able to pull off.
Lompat-lompat gitu. Ah.
Jing just has no clue about that. It is a little rough when you watch it back from his POV. But the trigger discipline. Panic from Batman.
Coach aja kesel apalagi
They've let
gua.
them slip a little bit here. Paper X down onto another eco.
Komedi
Fanatic with a
dulu,
great
komedinya.
opportunity to tie it up. Alpha even going for an attack off.
Nih.
You know that in these kind of rounds, Paper X are going to be trying to challenge you. Trying to bait out that aggression from the defenders and punish is all about what Fnatic are going for here today.
Really being the only player that can do some damage in this spot. Bulldog whipped in his hands. He's got bodies with him too. Paper X trying to hold this one
Mereka lah
down.
males apa gimana?
There was a potential for a timing on the other side of the map as well, but Patman denied it as Alfia reconnects with the rest of the
Daripada
squad. It's going to
saving.
end A into 3 at least. The stack is here.
See how this one goes. Dart's being held as well for the signs of life. There's
Tembakin.
smokes on smokes. Chopped up into the face, but all contact.
Tembak. Recon.
Steady is called for by Fnatic, and that's the time to strike. Well, the iron is hot, and they find their timing. Perched up, Kayak
Ngapain?
dishing it all out now with the bullets.
Jing tucked in. Patman deleted on the flank.
There's not much that Jin can really do from this spot. I mean, surely, yeah, just a bulldog. Can't get under
Kena.
control, and Kayak is the one online now. Take a look at this player. You said it, Josh. You would not expect this guy to be a rookie on this stage. But Icebox is his playground. It has been all tournament long.
Now you look at the two players that have been at the top of the scoreboard for Fnatic today. It's the same in map 1 and map 2. Alpha and Kayak finding their opportunities to be the playmakers as well. Opening up these rounds. From the entry and from the lurk. A reminder that Alfia brought an attack off into the previous round and he still got it here. So looking to try to shut down something if he was playing on A rafters. A pacey opening as well though. Taking this exec space quickly. Trying to punish Divide, for example, if he was going to be playing for the Orb, or Pac-Man as well.
Jing has been prone for a little TP play or two. But slow as you go. Boomstick in his hands. He's been lights out.
Siapa?
All up though to try and slow.
Berapa?
Paper X trying to stall this one
55.
out. Kayak is already
Anjing tadi menang kok
confident players, but he's taking bullets in the process. Tucked to the
Harusnya kan
corner.
udah Odin.
He's going to be able to survive as a wall to try and at least block some of the bullets. Forsaken.
Waduh anjing.
Ngapain?
Oh, nice.
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 No time for overheat and sun. Keep that gun out.
Kayaknya emang wajib ada gue cok biar menang.
Just with an off.
Iya. Wajib di skor.
Have to just absolutely
Nice.
let them
Mantap
out.
anjing gue
This is
dah.
a game
Nice.
for him. Paper X at least keep hold of this
Lagi
lead.
dimakan
He
mandu.
plays for most of this map.
Kenapa?
These are the
Lagi
times I'm
dimakan.
talking about though, friend.
Kagak.
Watch Crash's POV here towards
Gak
the
sehat
right.
makan
He
malam.
throws out a recon dart, which
Iya.
means the Chronicles
Betul.
alone get in the plant. He does an
Lu.
amazing job of picking up Divine
Tai.
and Forsaken. But
Apa?
he
Aku
then
udah
thinks he has
menang.
time
Tadi
to
bilang
take
nggak perlu makan ah.
utility, and he's not ready for Jing's fight.
Mana
Paper X
apa
take
bro?
timings
Minum
that are
susu.
just slightly off. and they do catch
Nggak boleh cowok minum susu malam-malam kalau nggak salah.
Can Fnatic tie things up at 6-6 or Paper X gonna have the lead off the back?
Sama aja gak sih? Bikin gendut. Kalau nggak salah. Nggak tahu ya.
Susu apa dulu?
Susu gantung.
Padahal
Itu Plan gantung mah nggak bakal bikin gendut. Pokoknya susu yang manis dah, yang nggak low fat.
Gua
gendut. Ya itu low fat gak?
Enggak.
Bisa bikin gendut.
Nggak tahu.
Oke kalau manis banget. Oh nggak
Ini mah
salah.
kata gue 66 anjing.
Ya. Nice.
Oh enggak. Emang wajib ada gua anjir.
No. Nipis.
Oh, salah kan?
Baru ambil ya.
No, nggak ada makanan.
Balik. Tapi
The rest of the players from Fnatic were stuck in mid, and he had to do everything.
gulanya 18 gram. 18 gram gimana?
Johe.
Kenapa?
18 gram segimana?
18 gram. Lu makan apa dulu coba lihat.
Susu.
Susu apa? Susu low fat.
Enggak low fat.
Susu ya nggak apa-apa sih. Cuma ya jangan banyak-banyak udah malam.
Tuh bener kan gua. Itu ada low fat.
Low fat ada rasa.
Gue lutian ngudut coy.
Nah emang iya?
Dakwa lagi. Jangan.
Ini ngirim kemana anjing? Kagak ada kok.
Di SW-nya ada udut.
Astaga.
Lu ngudut.
Bukan punya gua, abang. Goblok kayak ini.
Dakwa lagi.
Jangan gitu Tian.
Enggak, coy itu punya abang gua.
Meskipun gue juga gitu sih.
Tapi lu masih kecil
Ya,
kan? Ini lah.
Si pelik tuh.
Ini gua gak mau disuruh pilih gitu.
Uangnya bukan yang ditabung, malah beli untuk ditiru. Apa?
Lu mau tau gak cara nge-counter lapar? Tidur.
Apa?
Tidur. Cara nge-counternya tidur.
Itu si pelik.
Lihat stream gua lah.
Itu tembok.
Lihat stream gua.
Kenapa?
Coba ulangin. Kenapa?
Tadi lihat aja stream gua tadi dah.
Tuh ulangin ada buat gitu.
Tidak ada pengulangan.
Lu masih live kan?
Masih. Yang ini pas pilih apa? DRX atau Fanatic.
Kemana sih?
Parsi. Oh, nenek gue juga gak ada makanan. Tapi semua di kue.
Gua lagi makan oat nih.
Gimana lagi?
Nah itu dah pokoknya.
Oh itu, yo,
rada-rada gue.
Tapi masih normal. Ya absen kan?
Apa burik banget sore resolusi gua ya?
Iya resolusi lo 360.
Kenapa lu gak ngomong?
Gue udah ngomong dari tadi ya. Gue takutnya lu sakit hati dulu gitu.
Brilliant read from Fanatic.
Kita terus sakit hati gue bilang revelasi itu kan sempur doang.
Too similar perhaps to what's been happening on Sunset.
Ya maaf.
All of those contacty plays around the map, relying on the fact that Fnatic like to play deeper, more cautious positions. This time, Fnatic chew the numbers and play the retake.
Coba cek.
Classic Fnatic style. Following those sound cues, the numbers and play the retake.
Coba cek.
Classic Fnatic style.
Following those sound
Sabar
cues.
dulu, aku menekan tadi.
Kayak. Shot to the body.
Enggak ulang.
No armor on the board here.
Ini berapa sih?
Down. They're going to push this one back. Not quite. It's going down. Slowly being collapsed upon here. Paper X don't really stand a chance. Just from the hip. Something classic.
Waduh.
Damage, but that's about it.
Oh ini opening tadi kok teman-teman.
Coba cek resolusinya, Faro.
Got plenty of opportunity
Sabar,
here
aku mau
to have a
record
good
dulu.
buy heading into their bonus round. But Fnatic are going to be doing a lot of this where they're trying to react to what Paper X are doing around the map.
Rasa satu sama, cowok. Janganlah.
Kayak though is contesting as the plant goes down there. You know, Fnatic might have a bit of an adjustment. We've got to hear it from Alpha. But it will be very interesting if Fnatic decides to take the fight to Paper X. Kayak picking up an operator. That's come out of the Boaster bank.
Okay.
It's a good job we're not doing the econ report now, I suppose. At the end of this one. But yeah, Boaster, always the selfless leader.
Trying to post himself up.
Yang mana? Udah live lagi.
Wow, something. Eager to try and take down fight Kayak. Makes him regret it. Shoulders just poking out here. This is Fnatic.
Aku ada tadi.
Big advantage.
Nah, udah. Gitu dong.
Down to go really aggressive with this omen. I've seen him teleport onto screens before.
Oh.
Ult into crazy spots.
Kok nggak like sih?
Playmaking situation like this down 4v5. You're one
Kok nggak like ya?
Gua tadi lihat ya.
Fury pulls out of it. That's an early flashes. Earning his kills and his orbs up through mid. Another lurk happening. Jing is gone. Patman had to delete that turret and Alfier's right there behind him.
Per second.
Avenging poor Timmy.
Gimana aku men?
By and Forsaken, you might have got this plan down. But how the hell are you going to dig yourself out of this one? Mistakes need to be made, and Fnatic not in the habit of making them often here to dart against the back.
Yeah.
And Forsaken can't do it all.
Halah, anjing.
Fnatic overall in this tournament are playing about 2/3 of their rounds for retakes, but you see here, they're not long, even 5v5 retakes. Finding picks as the attackers work their way in, both from the operator and from the ultimates, applying that pressure and creating an easier retake for themselves. An almost impossible situation for those final two that were left alive. And I think they're going to be better at dealing with getting onto the line to fight Kayaks off. That was a pretty lazy way of trying to get onto that angle. One dart that didn't even land towards back yellow and something swings at the same time.
Aggro here with a slow orb just to try and deny that belt space.
Both teams fighting for
Nggak
belt
ada
space
KS, nggak ada suaranya.
and the ult orb.
Patman, hold on, walk about, Sheriff in hand, he just can't quite control it. Alfie lucky to be alive from that spot, but still claims the kill.
Definitely would have been a punish on a rifle round.
Now regrouping up, Fnatic have got bodies ready to receive. They can fully aware of this one.
Anjing,
How it's going to be
69.
landing, but that's a sideways swing. Sets up Divide perfectly. Stinger in hand. Plan can now go down here. They brought this to a 4v4. Close quarters weaponry. Mavericks are going to be looking to try and take this fight towards Fnatic. Oh, playing offside for it. Fnatic still grouped towards screens. The rifles looking to try and dissuade any chance. So
Aduh, salah, nice. Aduh, salah udah. Absen anjing.
So dependable, so
Alah.
reliable. Very good
Si
reasons
Tian juga
why
tidur
he
ya.
is the winning
Kata gue
player
mending
all time
tidur
in
sih.
Valorant. A win here would be utterly incredible for Chronicles' career, but everything has been the whole time. Crashies did not like the way that he took that fight. Shot bullets at 3 separate people that ran past him. Had to bail out of that one early, but was bailed out by the rest of the team.
Nggak usah pukul meja.
Mending kita tidur, sumpah. Kalau nggak nontonnya di HP tuh. Jadi yang digebrak bukan meja, kasurnya tuh di bawah.
Di kasur di. Duh. Anak pukul kasur.
But it's got to be so stressful in his position too. They're still just selling into the BO5. It's a
Udah, guys, gua tidur ya, sumpah. Gua antara tidur dan gak tidur sih. Paling nanti nonton di YouTube sampai ketiduran.
Oke.
Thank you Faisal, thank you Faro. Selamat malam, kurangin desahnya, kurangin begadangnya.
Siap.
Sehat-sehat selalu adik.
Oke bang.
Adik
semoga kita semua jag-jag waringkas.
Iyo, semoga PRX menang.
Jelas itu pasti menang.
Biar ada kembarannya cok. Gua punya bandel, lu punya bandel jadi. Gue tidur dulu ya.
Oke, thank you.
Peli. Lu besok gua.
Sampai ini beres.
Gitu, oke.
Sampai ini beres ya. Lama ini sampai jam 5 yakin gua.
Kenapa sampai jam 5?
Pasti 32.
Bukan sampai 1 doang, sampai 2.
Mana ada kocak 5 ini.
Oh, ya.
Kalau tadi gua lihat ya.
Hai. Hanya berapa? Jam-jam kelaparan.
Lu dari mana adekku?
Mau pindah HP tapi gak jadi.
Gak jadi ya?
Gak jadi. Kau comeback gini.
Enggaknya 3-0. Nice.
Tahan waktu, waktu per second.
Nice.
Tahan waktu jing.
Nice.
Nice.
Ayo. Parkour dulu. Parkour.
Bentar lah.
Bang Jo kemana?
Tidur.
But this play from Forsaken, again, enormous impact, just what Mel was talking about on the desk. He might not be exactly at the top of the scoreboard, but every kill he gets is huge impact. And he set up a 1v1 for Jing to slam dunk.
Stem the bleeding for now.
Kayak on another pretty aggressive position, the drone designed to try to push him off, and he dips, not giving away the fact that he's got the op.
And the repeat it as well, that's a wide face something. Lucky just evades the bullets.
Does Kayak take Alfia's advice and refight? Or is he looking to play risk averse and set up the retake with the rest of his team?
Dash available, it would be risky, just trying to take that timing inside that smoke. Quick scope, bullets raining down onto him. Something though has been dropped. Chopped down at the knees is what it seemed. Chronicle deal out that damage here on site.
Still with a recon. Kayak's op is fantastic at preempting these spots that Paper X want to fight.
He's perfectly posted every single time. The dart is in 180. Pac-Man has got to do a lot from this spot. Jing again. Heroics are called for. That's forward. The positioning, they're looking to try and stunt it, trying to stop it. Hands in hand. Paper X drawing blood, but again that repeat. Playing into Fanatic's hands to buy. Chronicle already on the defuse. He's got to start swinging and he's got to do it now. Source safety. Flame 4 crashes, watching for that peak.
Ini Suara streamnya kok jadi
These
besar,
rounds are going to be tilting Alex in the
Jadi apa?
booth. I think it's just not good enough for
Suaranya
Paper X.
jadi
Look
gede gini.
in the replay
Hah?
how often they're fighting one by one.
Suaranya jadi gede
Forsaken
gini.
on his own.
Suara streamnya jadi
That was a
gede.
bit of a double
Kan
fight
aku
together.
pindah
But here
ke
Pat
speaker.
swings with Divide having no real support.
Tante.
Paper X need to be coming up with ideas of how they want to fight together or what timings they want to take
Lek, kok pakai
together in
speaker
the
dua
post
kali ya,
plan.
Lek?
Because Fnatic are essentially just waiting.
Nanti kamu
They're not
ngomong
even really
kasar,
scaling on the
nggak
retake. They're
jadi.
just holding, knowing that Paper X are going to run into the maw.
Aduh, Len, abo.
Large reveal.
Aduh,
Paper X are all
teman-teman.
grouped up.
Well, they've got a massive ultimate advantage in this round, Brent. So if there was a round to try to do something quick and hit them hard, hit them fast,
mau
it would be
tiduran.
this one.
Fnatic are just giving them all that space again, like you said.
Mau tiduran.
Post-plan lockdown would be crazy good from Divide too.
Updraft over with the knives. Looking for a target, looking for a sight line. Util just comes out swinging, rebounding. Finally, Forsaken can commit. Paper X do have ult to their own.
Yeah, my eyes immediately go to Divide, wondering when he's going to try to use this.
There it is. Smoke's dropped down. This is Fnatic trying to make a go. Lockdown's there. Already in. This is Fnatic trying to make a play for this. Kayak. There's no stopping this guy. Disgusting work, but a lockdown cannot be broken in time. Albiedo found himself a pocket, found himself a window. And Forsaken is going to do it all. Offload him with the ult. It's time ticking, really. That point. Found the kill. Running him down, though. Forsaken will be finished. And Kayak on the fuse.
That's close.
That's so damn close. Oh!
Less than a second on the clock of Fnatic. Perfectly execute a really difficult retake. How on earth do they get that into a 5v3 whilst battling through Divide's lockdown? Not sure what's going through something's head here on this peak. I don't think that's a good one, but this shot is bonkers. A ludicrous one for Kayak to be bringing out. Absolutely jet diffing something. And like I said, it's got to be tilting because I don't think Paper X are actually playing these rounds particularly well in the post. Earlier on Sunset, I think you could argue both teams were really bringing a good game, but now Paper X letting Icebox slip, and this could be Fnatic equalizing.
Kayak been unbelievable so far with his form. Icebox really is his playground, but he's forced to concede that space. Jing forward, sees it onto the shoulder poster. Gone. Alpha responds. Straight it out, but there's pressure in mid. And Divide still lurking through, but finally spotted out. Players need to deal with him, but it's all chaos thrown into the mix. Forsaken and Divide. There with a 3-2-1 swing. Chronicle gone, and Paper X still alive in this map for now.
When all else fails, rely on the W gaming. That was a really large swing back towards Chaos. Controlled to some degree, sure. There was a double lurk set up, and Jing went for that same play, trying to get deep into Snowman on an unexpected timing. And this time finds a target to be able to work with. But it was Chaos. I mean, this play, Divide just running up tube into Alpha, yeah, he's just hoping he finds that timing and doesn't get punished. One round at a time. Fnatic choosing to go for a half bite here to make sure that their economy doesn't get completely broken.
Kayak swinging and looking to just draw blood out of them. Paper X. They are still there though, Divide. You can sense it, posturing occurring, and a deep push and peek by Chronicle. It's already anticipated.
Good awareness from Divide.
Yeah. Expecting it all now.
Crashes with a rifle. Boaster might be able to recover one if he completely repositioned, but at the moment, really isolated over in this Snowman spot. Should be Paper X being able to pick this one up. 4v2.
Hello.
Tip tap.
Ghost bullet. Not the weapon of choice for Boaster, obviously. Not cleaned up though either, and that could spell problems. Jing pressing forwards, crashes now. He's got that rifle, needs to make it sing. He's already found himself two. Dart towards the back, needs to be dealt with, but doubled up Paper X. And the ones on top.
Still though, even in that 4v2, Paper X players taking risks. Gonna be giving Alex a heart attack. But now Alex with another opportunity to talk to the team. And honestly, this might be a blessing for Paper Rex. Because despite winning 2 in a row, they don't look super confident right now. But it's the Fnatic coaches that have decided to take attack timeout. I'd be a little bit cautious about doing this, to be honest, because I do think it offers an opportunity for Alex to right the ship that's looking pretty shaky in this half overall. Last 2 rounds notwithstanding. Ults are back online as well for Fnatic though, so Milan might be just trying to drum up a set ult round that can knock Paper Rex out. A little bit similar to what we saw on Sunset towards the end, where you bring out a set play just to get across the line. And Fnatic do have depth. You know that they've got the experience. You know that they've got one of the greatest callers when things get scrappy in a mid-round. But this coaching staff has also proven themselves. It's been a great run since Milan got promoted to the head coach position.
Fnatic, they just need the one. Paper Rex, as you mentioned, it was a critical timeout taken by Fnatic. It's time to insert what's going wrong for them. Paper Rex, Alex will happily take that space, but 3 rounds still stands between them, drawing it to OT.
Jing going for another really deep push.
Forwards, Crashies is good. Ajao with a movement still. This is going to be rapid. And Jing's all the way around towards the side. One more TP. Try and get out of dodge there, but committing that paranoia. Kayak filling in the pieces. Alpha to Tuckman with the movement.
That's huge from Patman. Being able to pick off the 1v1 fight against Alpha and trade Chronicle.
It's all over the place.
Patman can't reconnect with the rest of his team to really pop down this Viper's Pit on site.
Just trying to adjust, missing on either side.
Planted.
Dropping down though into that 3v2 Boaster. Might have just caught eyes onto Patman. Patman tucked up close with Boaster is wise to it.
He's just trying to delay for as long as possible. Actually, maybe he didn't.
Into the high ground.
Oh, what an off angle.
God damn.
I thought for a moment there, maybe he hadn't realized that Boaster had spotted him, but repositioned into a spot that he was going to be favored on. And this round, I think, again, another reason why I was a little bit worried about Fnatic taking that attack pause. Because Jing immediately comes out of it with a really unexpected way of pressuring these players over towards the mid-split. That recon dart that got thrown over the top from Forsaken. Oh, and the timing here as well.
And this operator, it's critical to Fnatic's game plan.
And this sets us up with a strong potential for overtime. The Fnatic economy is in a really bad spot now. And so, one more rifle round before OT. This play though, I think huge credit given to Patman. Jing's in a pretty horrible spot there. And Patman has to win the battle against Alpha through Dew before he can go and help him. Take a look at the buy though. Knives, okay, huge for a Kayak, but 3 stingers to support.
The rifle and a lot of bolts on top of it. Kayak can't even escape.
I mean, that's insane from Jing just running through, but he has full trust in the paranoia.
Full aggression. They're not stopping now. Paper Rex are bold. He wants to rear its head. The leash has been cut and snapped. There's no containing them. Like a pack of rabid velociraptors. Hungry for more.
Let's go, comeback.
Comeback is Sri Lanka.
You get to see the full gamut of Paper Rex here. We started out on Sunset with them playing that slower, more strategic style. And now you get the full W gaming.
Tidur.
The last 4 rounds have been really heavily powered by Jing just doing crazy stuff on Omen. And this last round, regulation at least, Fnatic have got to try to make an adjustment to stop that in its tracks.
They are all in. Why wouldn't you be operating here? Smoke in your face or trying to obfuscate. It's the Hunter's Fury that's coming out swinging.
They thought it was another one of those fast hits. Crashies gets the ult baited out as Paper Rex reset.
Devi's one away from an ult of his own now. Slower tempo. Even the ult just thrown into it. Jing obfuscating the intent, but bodies are now trying to form up.
That's supposed to draw bodies away from the A site and make it easier for Paper X, but there's still a pit here. There's still a lockdown.
Yeah, it's a lockdown for a lockdown here in this spot. Alpha's ready. Puts it up close to the screens. What's the next level to all of this? Hunter's Fury going to be committed. It's going to be breaking that portion of it, and this has to be respected now. Fnatic, they've offloaded everything to try and stay into this round, but the pit's going to be going down, and crashes out into the open.
Boaster beefed it. That pit, you're supposed to get back inside, and he got detained.
And Paper X not slowing down. Still that res brings Crashy back into the fold, back into the fray. Watch Fly up through mid. Paper X eager though, looking to see if they can topple Fnatic before they stand and get a grip onto this retake. Pressing forwards, shoulder to shoulder discipline. It's helped so far, but Fnatic need it now in spades. Jing, that extra element. Drifting into the side here, doubled up, and the rifles are ringing out.
Gelo. Oke.
Paper X grab.
Wis, santai.
Take us into OT. Felt like an inevitability on Sunset, to be honest with you, but here on Icebox, Fnatic take a timeout and it goes straight back in their face. Paper X dial up the tempo, something on a high ground. Jing deep in heaven, getting into aggressive positions, unexpected spots. And even though Alpha dealt with the lurk, there were too many threats. The stress on both sides. And again, a reminder that when you look at the map pool, it feels a bit like a must-win for Fnatic. Next one is their permaban.
Standing ahead.
Smoke on the corner, something. Glass cannon operator. Opted into heavy defensive setup here by Paper X. Fnatic again, you're gonna see that caution played by them. Tiptoeing around, a bit tepid, but trying to dissect the map. Going overhead, spots out the jet.
Yeah, spotting Kayak there gives you some decent information. An idea that it might well be ending A, so you can keep these 4 players. The trust they have in Patmen, just to hold down B if their read is wrong. But it's not at all. Forsaken with exactly the right idea of what's happening here. Boaster calling for a little bit more pressure over towards B, and Paper X, they want info. They want to step up a little. As Boaster sniffed this out, he's calling for Fnatic to reposition.
Into the B split, perhaps.
And this is going to put Patman's head on a swivel.
Yeah.
And maybe Patman's head on a spike.
We'll be turning up the heat. 25 seconds left. Down to the wire. Patman still has a snakebite to try and deny some space. Shot darts in your face. Walls up, same with the orbs. Paper X starting to get a bit of a read on this one here, but again, Patman needs to try and deny. He steps forward. Blind as anything, he does not know what's going on. Paper X trying to even it out. Kayak with a peek, but the plant needs to go down. No issues further. Crashies commits. They're getting into the spot now. Fnatic putting a squeeze onto these Paper X players. They're going to try and clear this guy out.
Nice.
Kayak, he's done. Finished. Paranoia up top. Jing, the way. Nearsighted Chronicle may be, but this guy will not be denied. Something's still there though, swinging wide. The operator switched around, weaponry now with a rifle. Time starting to tick in a 1v1. Crashies, tepid, approach, and it works best for him.
Again, Crashies comes up in the clutch. What a recovery in a 3v3 situation there. Boaster calling a brilliant slow round. It felt like Forsaken exactly knew what was happening, but the further the time ticked, the more that Boaster realized and sniffed out that stack on A. Chronicle 2, legendary in that top nest position. And Fnatic once more have an opportunity to close.
Forwards, Kayak. Trying to fill in their space here. Oh my god, the pure disrespect. The dash is there. Boaster needs to try and stop them here, but he's isolated onto the corner and caught out wide. Kayak's still there though. This guy is eager to just try and play into the mechanics. Paper X not stopping. The feed is filled with red and blood being spilt out onto the site. Tricky task indeed for Fnatic. Walls up and everyone is falling slowly but surely. Chronicle, last one left. 5 bullets left in a swing from Divide. All the confidence in the world.
PaperX have figured out exactly what is working on these attack sites. It definitely feels like they're the team that's closer to being able to close this out, to be honest with you. Despite the fact that Fnatic had so many match points to be able to work with, this looks like PaperX is to lose because their attacks, the fast, aggressive approach is just barreling through Fnatic. Something, again, that pulls out the operator, and Fnatic, they got an extra timeout to use once things go to OT, and they're going to use it fairly early on. 13-13.
Gua pindah HP dulu.
Input. Okay. Every player, by the way, on Fnatic, over 20 kills apart from Boaster, who's only got 7. That's a little bit rough.
Struggling to put up the numbers.
At the same time, though, it does show you that the other 4 players are all having very good performances.
Yeah.
Because all 4 of them have had huge rounds, big moments. And Boaster's calling has still been finding impact, even if his rifle isn't.
That's what Fnatic are leaning on here.
To be honest, Brent, I think you look at the other side of things, and the player at the bottom of the scoreboard there is something. And if he can find 1 round, just 1, with the defensive op, that will right all of the wrongs of what he's been up to in this map. Because PaperX have already got the game plan for the attack side, it's working. If he can find a big operator round here, he could well put his team up to a maybe insurmountable lead.
Placing swamp grenade.
Taking his time to recuperate, breathe a little bit. Okay, scot-free.
Yeah, he was playing for that pretty heavily in regulation. Less important, arguably, here in overtime because everybody starts 3 away.
Makanan minimal 3 kali.
Don't know if you noticed that nano storm as
tanpa
well that was put down on top Jenny from Divide. That's where Kayak's been pathing to almost every time. So they've got a very specific counter plan here. Look at Jing holding that paranoia as well. They know exactly what they want to do to counter this Fnatic A hit.
Primed. Ready to pounce here.
It does feel like these timeouts have been helping Alex and PaperX more than Fnatic.
Drone's broken. Deep control towards B. Any posturing by Fnatic is put to an end. And now, eyes set over towards A. Triple face, alarm bounce. It's going to be gone. Jing there with a paranoia! Oh!
Nice.
It works perfectly. The game plan, absolute perfection.
Cut them to shreds, and Fnatic now left scrambling for options.
Nice.
There's the op value as well. Divide tucked onto a position that's really tough to clear.
And Kayak is going to try and win that. Final bullets left!
Spike down.
Mid-animation, Boaster, the captain himself. He's going to right the wrongs of the round, but on top of the ropes, the purest form of disrespect, PaperX.
And that was the round that they needed. Every attack round has been going well for them. They won the last 5 in a row to close out regulation. It's been pacey, it's been fast. W Gaming and the train keeps on trucking. Let's see if Fnatic have an answer, because all of the pressure is now on them.
Oh yeah. On their attack side, PaperX are sending it.
Revealing area.
Grouped up, deep dark paranoia. They're making it feel like it's that fast B pressure. And Kayak is taking liberties, taking risks. Him versus Defy finds it.
That's huge info as well. You see Divine on this side of the map, you know at least that they're defaulting. You don't know for sure that they're coming back over towards A, but you know it's not that fast B hit. And look how quickly Alpha just takes all of this space on B.
Yeah, deep push. Hit around information, going to be given up here. The rest of his team, an attempt of a punish at a jump spot. Boaster, the acknowledgement he was looking for.
I mean, what a decision from Forsaken to try to bait.
Yeah, he's creeping in through the back. They already know he's there. Patman really anticipated. Bodies out wide to the open. Patman just sidesteps it. Alternating with the movement, but tucked behind Dice. Forsaken is creeping forward. Off of that contact, Kayak. When is your time to strike? Deep dart, dash active, wall up into your face. Thrown into the corner, clears him out though. We'll have to use it to disengage.
Chronicle can step in to cover that though. Paper Eggs still, even with all three players here, have got a difficult task.
3v4 wars down as well, out to the open. Jing! He's dropped.
30 seconds left.
The Fnatic have found it. They're footing the foundation. A safety net now, all the pressure's on Patman. 1v3, 20 seconds left. Taps it, looking for a kill, looking for a cheap fight. Again, he's not going to be given it. Snake bite, all the options reduced to ruins.
I respect the balls to go for a fake there. If it had worked, we'd be calling Forsaken a genius. But actually, he just deviated away from the game plan that's been working for Paper Eggs. The pace, the aggression, Fnatic did not have an answer for it. And instead in this round, maybe overcomplicated things slightly. Went to fake that fast pressure and played into the kind of tempo that Post is super happy to call against. Immediately, Kayak realized it was fake. Alpha got quick on the flank, and now we're back to even.
14-14. Overhead with the util.
Something still going for the operator. Every round on defense has been trying to make it work. Did find a little bit of value with it over towards B. They've got to be watching out for this paranoia again. It worked so well last time for Jing, but he's not really in a spot to use it now.
Cheeky with the positioning.
It looks to me like they're trying to fake that it's only Alpha here on A. You know, he's the player that's getting up, getting forwards.
Last man with the dart. It's going to be a drone.
Second ace.
Faking like they're taking B control. Looking to see if they can pull bodies to make A little bit weaker. Soften it up for the take now.
And that's nice. Patman takes contact, which disguises where the operator is. So it could still be on A.
They're drifting though. Paper X are losing control. Not a hard anchor it now, but they're seeing signs of life and hearing it on top of it. Nano swarms, deaded. All up in your face to delay.
Do they play to flood? Do they play to defend and deny the spike?
Devi is hard committed. He's seeing just a body. He's peeking over towards the top of this row. And we're seeing it now. Paranoia is forwards again. There's a wall into your face. Fnatic have access towards it.
Insane!
What is that by Jing? Fnatic! Vice grip now over towards the site. And it scraps on the floor that Patman has to pick up and make something from it. Damage done, bullets raining through, but right from the side, Chronicle never denied. Something here, operator in hand, but this is just dire. Oscillating the momentum of this map, happening round by round. Picks up the rifle, but you got one hell of a task, and no clearance again. Time's ticking. It's all against it. Crashes, knows it.
Big round from Chronicle, but also a wild play from Jing. We saw the value he got from the paranoia in the previous round. This time, tries to send it again. Throws that out, goes for the TP. But I mean, that is some nutcase behavior. You see, it did land onto Crashies, but just there's way too many people around there. Again, respect.
Holy shit, that's Sidra.
Respect for going for the play, but keeping things simple might have had Paper X already close out the map at this point. And a couple of rounds ago, it felt like they were completely in control. Now it does not.
Now it's flipped, 180.
Thing is though, Paper X, again, could just go back to playing those fast attack sides. And we've yet to see Fnatic demonstrate they have an answer. Yeah. There's been no evidence that they actually can deal with that pace. But the more that you have to battle against their map points, the more you start to overthink things. And this map, if it ends up being important later on, will be a difficult mental barrier to overcome for Paper X if they lose control here. They did such a good job getting to overtime, denying 5 map points.
Fnatic have clawed it back. More rounds all they need to seal up Icebox. Draw us level here in a best of 5 grand finals.
Fnatic's job is to deny, keep that trophy out of reach.
He's taking a peek here early. It's an operator in his hands. Wall up and over, you don't anticipate this one. It's a classic play, or do you? Heads up play, you're trying to use those walls against Paper X. They were born in it, molded by that play.
Beautiful anticipation from Forsaken. Now, the wall does still block Patman off. And Alpha, he's pushed up.
Alpha, you are so hard committed here, but he just spots it onto the drone as well. And my God, man! Does he deliver? Taken out eventually. But he's brought it into a 3v3. Here in the footsteps, the Rumble, Patman, there's a timing to be taken, and he just grasps it immediately, jumps on a chance.
And this isolates Crashies. Crashies would have to be a hero for Fnatic to get this across the line.
Towards the back of the box. Walking forwards here, there's a wall into their faces. There's a game on those timings. Again, Crashies, surely not long for the world. And there it is, Patman from behind. Paper not done yet.
Planted.
A round where Fnatic tried to pull out a cutesy play. And it leaves the caller in a 1v3. He's destroyed at the end. 15-15. Neither team can get a proper advantage over the other and get a grip on this. They're bringing out tactics they probably haven't tried in quite some time. Both teams have got depth.
One enemy remaining.
But things get scrappy the deeper you get.
You are insane, bro. You are insane, bro.
All compliments.
Thanks.
Back up on their feet here, 15-15.
Oh, Paper fighting aggro.
Aggro as anything, Kayak though. One shot to the dome, Jing is gone. Wants a little bit more with that dash active. It's going to be used on either side. Something just needs to try and escape. He's got the safety net of Forsaken watching over the shoulder.
And Fnatic back up, anticipating some level of aggression elsewhere around the map. Alpha almost got an opportunity to pick off Patman in mid with that attack up. And Patman is not going to go for it again. Paper are anticipating a re-hit here, and that does look like the idea here.
Just cautious for now, though.
And Fnatic always with these opportunities to pivot back to Boaster. Boaster's done a very good job in this map of just applying options, giving himself options to work with. His is the more passive role, just making sure nobody pushes out of B, and once again Patman is asked to do so much.
On the knife's edge here, on top of the wall, it's a dart. Trying to take this timing pass. He's going to try and push forwards. Take the fight to it. There's an orb in the face of these players. Wall up now on top of it. Creeping forwards already.
He caught this timing before.
Wall up though. Surely it's going to be watched for. Spam happening, occurring. Popping up on towards the top! Alpha! How the hell do you land that one? Spike planted. Best scenario you could really hope for if you're Fnatic in this spot here. Again, Alpha, shoulder, peeking out. Taken out. Deep down against the back. Prime's ready and finally let loose with the slow orbs, and you see that 3-2-1 with a swing. Timing to be taken, something's on the flank. Already ripping his way all the way past. Needs to be taken out, something. He's found it. Dash back already. But the time is ticking away.
2 bullets.
And 2 bullets, 2 players, not enough to get it all done.
Fnatic again with a really solid round to put themselves up once more. So many opportunities to close this. The timing that Patman tries to take, he was rewarded for it previously. This time though, not focusing on the planter, seeing if he could catch a player that was looking to defend and failed. Forsaken pulls out the Odin to try to deny the wall perhaps?
Second guessing it.
Yeah, decides not to go for it in the end.
Down again. Jing TP's forwards. This is it. Fnatic trying to lock in, trying to step up to that task that's ahead of them here.
And there's the player that's been driving the train forwards. The engine power was coming from Jing in all of these fast attack rounds. Now something has to step up an entry. Dash already popped.
And Kayak's still here. Put up towards the top there, just spotting it out, and the damage done something. 1 bullet to the chest is all it takes for Fnatic. They can feel it. Energy here on their sides. 3v5, it's all contact called for here by Paper They're hoping there's an overextension. Never in a million years though. Fnatic are always going to be disciplined. Snakebite up and over. Dodged and shoot down towards the back to buy. He's to land these shots. There's no freebies handed to him. Fnatic just bite it out.
They're always expecting Paper X to be the ones making the play. The time is going to be ticking here for Fnatic, though. They've got to go at some point.
Double phase up towards the top. Patman reveals his hand with a snake bite drop down on top of it, and this is it. Fnatic never denied it. Hand going all the way through, but they have made it even.
So many opportunities to close this one out, and finally Fnatic managed to grab one of them. 17-15. Both of these maps have been a grind. And in a final like this, so much is about endurance and how you pace yourself. Up next, Fnatic's permaban.
This mother doesn't need respect. Come on! See, Alpha is raging. No! Alpha is hungry.
Normally we say respect everyone, fear no one, but they don't give respect to them, okay? Just swing them, just smash their heads, okay?
Turkish wolf is hungry.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Spike defused.
The human body was built to move, not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you, gamers, hybrid workers, artists, backing your every move.
What's up, everybody? Vansilly back on the floor right now. Well, you know what time it is. When I'm at the bottom of the stairs on the stage, it's time to play a game. It's time to play pop-off. I'm still waiting for my contestants to come on. Actually, let's bring them right now. We actually have Abigail representing Fnatic, and Kat, please come in. Everybody, Toronto, give them a hand of applause. My friends, it has been an intensive game so far. How are you doing? I think your voice is almost as gone as mine.
Yeah, I'm out of breath.
Awesome. And for you, Kat, are you going for Paper X here? I'm pretty sure it's a 1-1 score line. You think they're going to win it all?
Oh, for sure.
Awesome. Okay, Kat, I had you coming on. I was like, hey, do you know what we're doing? And you said you have no idea. So the premise around this, it's popping off. So I'm a bandwagoner. I don't know who to go for anymore. I don't know if it's going to be Fnatic or Paper X. So you guys are going to help me predict. So you're going to lace on to these apparels that we have. Apparatus. There you go. I got my English right. And then we're going to have you pump a balloon. And if your balloon pops, that means it's going to be your team winning the next map. Are you ready for that? Okay. So we're going to get our cardio in. Are we good for that?
All right, yeah. Let's go.
How many steps do you do a day?
Oh, like 5.
How about you, Abigail?
What?
How many steps do you do a day?
Not sometimes. 0.
This is gonna be intense then, I guess. I don't know how many steps we're gonna take here, but we're gonna get the helmet up. Let's get the helmet up. Kat, you got the Paper X with the balloon. Abigail, the Fnatic one, you ready for that one as well? Too much hair. We didn't plan this really on trying to get the helmet on time. Yeah, make sure you have your balance right as well. But Toronto, are we gonna try to go here for Abigail with Fnatic? Or how about Kat with Paper X? I saw the votes up there, and it looked like there was a lot of Paper X fans in the audience and around the world. So All Paper X fans, louder than Fnatic. Paper X, make some noise. And Fnatic, make some noise. Welcome back, everyone. And
Fnatic won.
Fnatic won. In case you're wondering, Fnatic won the balloon thing, majigum, whatever that is.
Official name, by the way.
That is the actual name of it. Indeed, it is. But we are all knotted up 1-1 in this series here. It's now time for our Verizon high-speed moment. This one gonna go to Alfier because we ended up seeing actually this Fnatic team really get awoken in this one. They needed this in order to get back into this maybe.
They absolutely did. This was their must-win map in this series, and they had a bit of a rough start. Went down 0-4, lost the bonus round, but then as he has stepped up it many times throughout this tournament, it was Fnatic, or it was Alfier, I should say, who brought Fnatic back into this one. He has been playing so well individually throughout this entire run, just looks so confident on that stage, Bea.
Sometimes you have to be confident, you have to disrespect your opponent, and Alpha needs this kind of rounds. He knows that he's the player that can put the rest of his team in his shoulders and have this kind of moments to bring them back into the game, because those 4 rounds had been so successful for the side of Paper X that if this hadn't happened, we wouldn't be where we are right now.
Yeah, and if
so it'd be different.
If we're thinking ahead to who might put on that bracelet and be MVP in a couple hours, I think the top contenders for Fnatic right now are Alpha and Chronicle, both of whom had really big impact that game.
Yeah, but let's not forget about the rookies though, right? Because we've been seeing Kayak as well as Patman step up a couple of times here, Bea, and it's been great to see the rookies take to the stage like this.
It's so important. We had clutches coming in from Patman. His lurks were on point and an absolute pain in the ass to deal with for Fnatic. Kayak also 11-3 in opening duels, and we were seeing it round after round because of the approach that Fnatic has in this map. Yes, they're very good at retaking and whatnot, but against a team that doesn't really have that many means to get the spike down, Kayak needed to be the one actually spearheading from the defense, making use of that operator that he's so good at, Mimi.
What impressed me the most of his defensive opping wasn't even when he was going for forward peaks, it was when Fnatic was flying back and getting set for their retakes. He would pick really good angles to punish Paper X trying to fight deep into side. Because the way you counter Sage retake teams is you fight into backside. And constantly, Kayak was able to deny those angles, keep the players from Paper X pushed back, and make those retakes that Fnatic just kept winning so easy to pull off.
Yeah, but of course, we started to see things get a little wonky as the series, or rather as the map continued forward here. But what we did get was a strong Fnatic second half there, right, guys? And we were seeing Fnatic come back into this one, but don't get me wrong, though. This could have gone either way, especially with the way OT played out.
Yeah, exactly. I think that starting with this strong second part of the map, when they go onto the defense, they needed to stand up very, very strong. A 6-6 half is a very good result when you start on the attack. So for Fnatic to understand how to play this map against Paper X, having those initiations was very, very important, Mimi.
Early on for them, too, they had such a good read on that piss around to punish the Paper X players who were pushing in through mid. Fnatic, the team, was really good at slowing things down, taking that step back, punishing aggression, and then playing those advantageous later rounds, which is super successful early on. But as we got deeper into that second half, the chaos started to seep in.
How are you doing?
Paper X, I mean, nearly brought it back.
Were you good? How was your heart? How are you handling it?
My heart was okay, but it's like sometimes you see a gap in a map and you see Paper X taking advantage of that, and you're like, please, I know you know, Fnatic.
Hey, but you know what though? Now we know that we're going to be heading over to map 3, Pearl, and definitively we're going to Lotus for sure to settle this one. But let's talk about how this series layout has played out, because Bea, it does feel like everything has gone as predicted. You know, we were calling Paper X for map 1, Fnatic for map 2, but now we're going to Pearl, which Fnatic do not like.
Yeah, do not like. They played it one time this year, but oh my god. Is this a spoiler?
He's hovering the neon.
Alfier, are you doing this? I was going to say they've only played it once this year. It is a map that Fnatic hates. Previous to that, 2022 in VCT is not something that we see a lot from Paper X though. This is the first map that they played in this competition, and a 13-1 win for them against Heretics. So it's very smart for them to be picking this map as their third one. And Alpha, are you going to do... He used to play the Neon on this map. We haven't seen it a lot, but with this double duelist approach from Fnatic, I'm liking it.
And this is basically the comp that we saw T1 be very successful with when they were playing and when they went on to win Masters Bangkok. On defense, especially, those two duelists can work so well together to play into these flood retakes. It's two players that we know have been playing amazingly just as shooters this tournament. I would love to see this comp get locked for Fnatic.
Well, they're still hovering over it. They haven't made any changes as far as like selecting other options. They're using that time effectively to communicate, right? Because you know Boaster wants to make sure that he's just giving the orders to the troops, right? And it's very important to make sure that you lock this thing down.
If that was the must-win map on Icebox for Fnatic, I think
oh my God,
this is the map that PaperX needs to win. You cannot pick into your opponent's permaban and lose to them there. That sets up a very scary end of this series then for the boys from APAC.
In the words of Admiral Akbar, is it a trap? Are we in for a trap? What is going on here?
It might be, you know, you're going into the unknown. PaperX knows this map very well. Going back into this double duelist that favors them so much. Now we get into double duelist versus double duelist, something that we will get to see in Split if we get to that final map. But I want to know how this changes the perception that PaperX had. And also, 100% important, Davai having such a good series and playing on device.
All right, folks, let's get ready for map 3. Send it back over to your casters. Here's Brent and Sideshow.
So we're stepping into the unknown here as we go into Pearl. PaperX, you can imagine, okay, we've got some form of an advantage where you can make Fnatic play this map, but you're also going up against a composition which you've seen before, granted, but not the way that Fnatic might play it. It's a lot of unknowns, and it's shaky territory still at 1-1 here in our grand finals.
Now, the other time that we saw PaperX play on this map as well, it was a 13-1 dismissal of Team Heretics, but that was also them beginning on their attack side, which means we barely saw the defense whatsoever. So even though we know that their attack is phenomenally good, at least in the one example we saw at this tournament, we actually don't know anything about their defense. PaperX might suck at defending on this map. We don't know yet. It has been a very good map for them domestically though, and so if you look back there, you shouldn't be too worried about things. And I would echo what the desk is saying. You've got to win on your opponent's permaban pick. But we have seen at tournaments in global finals before that sometimes that is easier said than done. These teams, when they have a permaban, are able to come out with a weird comp, like for example Alpha on Neon, and they're able to throw caution to the wind and play with a level of recklessness that you wouldn't expect sometimes. If Fnatic had any map that they just decided to send it on, it would be here on Pearl. And it puts all the pressure right back on PaperX after they just lost in OT.
Seeing Fnatic on that attack side here as we step into Pearl. Big group up early on. We can see it up here on the casting desk, but potential for some early fights occurring out towards B.
Map 3, where things really start to heat up in a BO5 grand final here. Something and Divide looking down B long, wondering if they want to take contact early. PaperX trying to fight over both edges of the map. And now spreading back out again to make sure they collect any timings like this that have gone missing. But exactly as Chronicle and Boaster go to take some art control, Jing was backing up.
Posted now. Oh my goodness. Forsaken, not to be outdone. First kill immediately evened out from Fnatic side of things here. But that Sheriff, yeah, short work is made for the opposition. Fnatic now leaving the map into partitions, and they're not going to be denied this plant. Divide would have to go absolutely crazy. Chronicle 3-piece to get things started here on Pearl.
Something we haven't discussed too much as well is how much the first kills are going the way of Fnatic. First map, I was looking at it and I was like, wow, that's kind of ridiculous actually. They're getting a ton. And then it happens again, pretty much the same way. Even though the maps are close, Fnatic is dominating in the first kill department. Across these first two maps, they're up plus 14, now plus 15 after that pistol. So PaperX are constantly having to battle back from being down 4v5. Now sometimes They do get those trades instantly if they're death balled together. But it's worth keeping in mind here.
Time to jump.
Every player apart from Boaster, very positive in the first kill department.
Oh yeah.
And Chronicle, he had massive impact in the pistol round, and now with just the Sheriff, is able to go wandering. He's got a little more freedom.
Players are posted, getting into spot and position. They're seeing signs of life here, but immediately eviscerated. Dubai doing backflips towards the back of the site, and rifle in hand. Okay, Kayak trying to test himself a little bit. Sharp with the aim of the first shot, but step forwards. Tall anticipated and recovered when it comes to the weaponry.
Throwing down the spike as well to make sure that they prioritize Crashy's ultimate. No, giving it over instead to Chronicle, who's a little closer to the lockdown, which is a pretty huge tool that you can work with. Forsaken comes through. Spanks Alpha, yeah? But he's only got Frenzy to be able to work with.
That's not much.
Would be a ridiculous 1v4. I don't think the chances are particularly high.
Unlikely.
Fnatic trying to keep it clean, putting the rifle into Chronicle's hand as well.
Forsaken's not going to be taking any peeks here, so a strong beginning for Fnatic here on Pearl. As we said it, and we set it up, series of unknowns on either side.
Yeah, so much to wonder about. I mean, the EMEA teams in general don't really love playing on Pearl. But Fnatic, no exception to that. Not a team that's had even historic success, particularly here. But also, they knew 100% that they were going to be playing it here today. So the two maps, in my opinion, if I put myself in Fnatic's coaching shoes, I'd be prepping hardest for Sunset and for Pearl.
Enemy remaining. Go, go, go.
Sunset, they put up a really good showing. There was a possibility that they could have taken that one, but this, we'll have to see. Boaster with the attack op.
Okay. Round 3.
I mean, it's not like he's never done it before, but round 3?
Yeah, bonus round. When you least expect it. Quick little glide and dash to the side. Fights to be had. Jing, he loses his out. Instant dismissal. Alpha, you might be getting a bit overzealous there, but the stun's ricocheting. It's random spam. Over the shoulder, finding that gap. Something snaps down, and Boaster's done. Pings it out as well. I think even spotting out that they did invest into that operator.
Yeah, so they might be expecting that Fnatic will go back and try to recover that over towards B.
Where's that one going?
I mean, I don't think that Kayak's ever going to actually take that one. Certainly not with Devi watching it like a hawk.
No.
Alpha took a lot of spam when he was trying to get a little more aggressive and push his luck in A main. So it's going to be tough for him to get too much impact. This round, probably on Kayak.
The connector. Both. Okay, well, Forsaken is doing a lot of work. Deadlifting that portion of the map and taking it fully away from Fnatic. And yeah, Alpha's like, wait a second.
One.
I mean, his job here might just be to try to collect the operator and something.
Exactly.
He's got it on lock. Dealt with Boaster early on. Closes down.
So he's aware of it. Even we just saw there, obtained the upgrade of himself. So there's going to be a defensive operator now to worry about if you are Fnatic.
And I think they might have just given a really lovely gift over to the defenders. It's a questionable decision, I think, from Boaster. Especially the way that he was trying to get set up with the op.
Terus ini apa?
So now in this round, Alpha, yeah, the player with some of the sharpest aim in the entire server is going to bring a judge out.
Well, we'll see what he can do with it. Get up into their faces perhaps already, and he's going to look to do that over towards it. Nasty stuff from Forsaken. Takes control of the rifle in his hands. That's a hard target to hit.
And Alpha, yeah, denied immediately. Maybe trying to push his luck a little. Not a duelist that he's super familiar with.
Bits and pieces of util now. It's going to be held into the hands of these Fnatic players, looking to see if they can take a bit of mid-control. Clone. Sure, oh, they're stuck onto the corner. It doesn't even trigger the wall. And a season and aid. Oh, done! His combinations are cooking! That's a foul concoction if you're Fnatic. You're going to need those heroics. But it's all one. Crashes in a 1v5.
Allah penumpang
That's a
hati.
beautiful round put together from Paper X. It really is.
RX.
And a wallbang even all the way through mid.
Oh.
And a little bit of damage on the crashes. The combo of the C's nade into the pull and into the swing just destroys Fnatic, but they've already been set up. Couple of weird moments here. I mean, Kayak's teleport all the way down into Flowers was a bit of an unusual one. And then his clone getting stuck, failing to trigger out the wall. You can definitely see, I think, that Fnatic are less comfortable.
Yep.
The details are not perfect here.
Throw going amiss, that's ridiculous. Okay.
The slide is really late though. I mean, he's jumping through and trying to slide. And that's a silly way of ending.
A load of surprises.
Another little evil chuckle there from Batman.
Yeah.
And now Fnatic's economy not in a good spot. They forced up in the previous one, like I said, with that judge.
Satu gak?
And something